We've got a charged atmosphere in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Conference USA play has arrived for two rivals in the East Division. It's the Moonshine Throwdown. Marshall at 2-1 and Western Kentucky, which is 1-3. And we welcome you inside the booth. Ted Emmerich along with former NFL offensive lineman Ross Tucker. Danny Kleppinger will join us momentarily from the sideline. Usually this game is scheduled for November, late in the season. This year, try September. It's the league opener, but that doesn't diminish the importance for either team.
No, not at all. I mean, it's the first Conference USA game. So if you want to win the championship, you're in a much better position if you actually win tonight. You lose this game, you're kind of crawling back the whole rest of the year. Tonight's huge.
We head down to the field and join Danny. I'll tell you what, in terms of weather, I don't think you could get much better than this.
Absolutely not. We're in for a beautiful evening down here on the field. 70 degrees, no wind, nearly perfect setting for this rivalry game. And you know what, guys? They say first impressions last. Well, for 8 redshirt seniors on Marshall, they definitely remember their first impression of Western Kentucky back in 2014 when the Hilltoppers ruined Marshall's perfect season with a 67-66 overtime victory. Marshall finished that season 13-1, and that one has still haunted these 8 redshirt seniors on Marshall who hope that they are the ones that are leaving the lasting impression here tonight. Ted?
Danny, thanks so much. Ross, let's contrast the quarterback situations for these teams. For Western Kentucky, it's been a carousel. They've played as many quarterbacks as they have games thus far. 4, they have started 3 quarterbacks, more than any other team in the country this far. Stephen Duncan is the one that Mike Sanford hopes takes control of the job, though.
Well, and he feels like he did last week in the second half against Ball State. What he really likes about Duncan, number 10 there on the right, he's 6'4", 230, and he brings a unique running threat to the Hilltopper offense that they really needed. You see what he did passing last week, but really it was what he did in the second half, getting touchdowns 3 of the 4 drives in the second half against Ball State to win them that game that really sold Coach Sanford.
Meanwhile, for Marshall, no question about their starting quarterback. It's redshirt freshman Isaiah Green, but he's coming off a rough outing against NC State.
Right, NC State, obviously an ACC school. They're a pretty good program. He does throw a really nice, pretty ball, and everybody we talked to this week just talked about how calm, cool, and collected he is. Like Duncan, he is a dual-threat quarterback. He's got pretty good legs. He's just been inconsistent at times with his accuracy. He's thrown for over 200 yards in each game, but it's been sporadic. The good news for him is he's got one of the best pro prospects in all of Conference USA in wide receiver Tyree Brady. 6'3", 210. The Miami transfer has outstanding body control. Look at this, contorting his body behind his back to make that one-handed catch right there. I've talked to some people on the field before the game that think he might go as high as the second round. He definitely will be drafted. Talking to NFL scouts this week, he's that good.
The Hilltoppers won the first 3 meetings after joining Conference USA. Marshall won last year. What's in store tonight? Kickoff after this. We will be under the lights here at Houchin-Smith Stadium in Bowling Green, and it is a blackout for Western Kentucky as they welcome in Marshall for the Conference USA opener. Mike Sanford is the head coach for Western Kentucky, the 3rd youngest head coach in the FBS behind only Kent State's Sean Lewis and Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. Sanford, a 36-year-old in his 2nd season with the Hilltoppers, an offensive mind. Doc Holliday on the other side for Marshall in his 9th season. The 61-year-old former state high school wrestling champion from Hurricane, West Virginia, has led Marshall to a 5-0 record in bowl games and looking for a 2nd straight bowl appearance after going 3-9 a couple of years ago.
You know you're tough if you were a high school state wrestling champ. I'm going to say that right now. You know you're tough.
I was at 175 pounds too, Ross.
And back in the day, 175 was actually pretty good size.
Marshall winning the coin toss. They deferred the option to the second half, so Western Kentucky will have it first. Justin Rowasser puts it in the air. We are underway from Bowling Green, and Western Kentucky will take it from the 25. Stephen Duncan will make his second career start at quarterback for the Hilltoppers. His first came against Louisville a couple of weeks ago. He was benched in favor of the redshirt freshman Davis Shanley. Basically, the opposite happened last week. Shanley got hurt against Ball State. Duncan then led Western Kentucky to the victory over the Cardinals on the road, earning the respect of everyone in this offensive side.
And his coach, Mike Sanford, told us he's not going to have a short leash. He doesn't want him looking over his shoulder. That said, they have done a lot of yo-yoing at the position so far this season, so something to keep an eye on if he were to struggle.
Joshua Samuel motioning toward Duncan, and a flag before the first snap. That's on the center, Seth Jost, the redshirt sophomore from Versailles, Kentucky. This is a young Western Kentucky group. Not a single senior starts. In fact, only one sees significant time, the tight end, Myquan Dean. So 1st and 15, Duncan swings it out. Lucky Jackson, Western Kentucky's leading receiver, dives across the 30-yard line, making up the penalty yardage and more.
Just a run-pass option to start. He sees the weak side linebacker blitz, and he throws it right out to Lucky Jackson. The offensive line was blocking run.
12-yard pickup, now to the ground, and Joshua Samuel, coming off a breakout game last week, he picks up the first down, had a career-high 91 yards and a touchdown a week ago.
Good start here for the Hilltopper offensive line. They rushed for 192 yards last week against Ball State. That was a huge factor in them getting their first win of the season.
Yeah, the 192 yards, the most that Western Kentucky has rushed for in the 2 years under Sanford. A laser over the middle, nearly intercepted. Chase Hancock, one of the best linebackers in the league, got his hands on it.
Duncan stared down the receiver the entire time. I'm not sure what he was looking at. He didn't see Hancock in his line of sight at all. Look at Hancock, gets two hands on it. He diagnosed that throw perfectly, which makes sense because he's a pre-med major. You get it? Did you get it?
Well done. Diagnose. I did get it. I did. You went to Princeton, right? Second down, Duncan is dropped. A sack for this Marshall defense. That'll set up 3rd and long.
They came with a blitz up front, and initially a decent job trying to pick up the blitz there, but just couldn't sustain it. And that's one where you're Duncan, and you know your running back's man-to-man on a linebacker like that. You really want to try to get that ball out fast if you can.
Frankie Hernandez picked up his first sack of the year. 3rd and 14 now. Duncan feeling the heat again, and he runs into a wall. Ryan B., the 5th-year senior from Ashland, Ohio. Back-to-back sacks to close out this possession.
And that is not the guy that you want to run into at 6'7", 280. Duncan did a nice job moving in the pocket, but right there, Ryan B. was waiting for him. They know that Duncan likes to use his legs. Looked to me there like it was one read and then tuck it away, and B was ready for it. Really nice job there.
B didn't play the first 2 weeks with an injury, saw 32 snaps last week, and on the field making an impact early here tonight. Alex Ranella boots it away for Western Kentucky. Marcel Williams, the return man, and Lucky Jackson downs it for the Hilltoppers near the 40-yard line. Marshall is set up well for its first possession. Isaiah Green, growing pains last week for the redshirt freshman against NC State. A couple of interceptions, also lost a fumble. But as Doc Holliday told us this week, Ross, he has a lot of Rakeem Cato in him. That's high praise, Marshall's all-time leading passer, in terms of just not being able to get rattled.
Right, everybody loves his personality, doesn't really let anything bother him. And he's told us this week it's because he's been through so much adversity.
Green tosses to Keon Davis, trying to find the edge, and he's banged down at the 45, a gain of 4. Davis, they love to put the ball in his hands as a runner, as a receiver, and as a return man.
Look at Tyree Brady, man. I mean, that's what NFL receivers look like, just so you know. Very physically impressive and imposing.
Davis now straight ahead. plunging for 3 more yards to the 48. And for Tyree Brady, he remembers this game well last year up in Huntington. He was injured on the first play and in fact missed the following 2 games. He's extra motivated tonight.
Yeah, and I think early on especially, we'll see Marshall lean on their offensive line. I mean, they're all returning starters from a year ago. A young quarterback on the road, first conference game.
3rd and 3 for Green. 3-man rush. Out to Davis. He couldn't hold on. Incomplete.
Even if he does catch it here, though, Ted, he's not going to get the first down. Left side of your screen, comes out of the backfield. Masai White was all over it, wrapped him up right away. Really almost immaterial that he wasn't able to hold on. Masai White had a huge game against Wisconsin in the opener. 11 tackles and a sack up at Wisconsin, proving he could play with the big boys.
Officials want 12 seconds added to the game clock. So both teams have to punt on their first possessions. Robert Lefevre, the sophomore, will kick it for Marshall. Drell Green, the return man for Western Kentucky. Lefevre averaging 38 yards a punt. Green has a chance, and he'll take the fair catch. Wise decision inside the 20-yard line. So Western Kentucky will have it back here with 11:31 to go in this first quarter. With their win over Ball State last week, they snapped a 5-game losing streak dating back to last year. It was their first win since November 18th against Middle Tennessee. It's something that a young team really needed, especially on the road.
Right, they've had a rough stretch, and really they have their bye after this game. So Coach Sanford talked about it being a 1-game season to get to 1-0 in the conference before they get a much-deserved break.
Starting inside the 20, Duncan on the move, throwing toward the sideline. It's off Quinn Jernigan's hands, incomplete. Chris Jackson applied the coverage.
Jernigan wasn't really open. You can see already early in this game that they really like to get Duncan on the move. Even though he's 6'4", 230, sort of your classic pocket passer physique, that's not really who he is. He's better when he's on the move.
Second down, feed it to Samuel up the gut for a yard. Ty Tyler meets him in the hole. Once again, 3rd and long for Western Kentucky.
So Ty Tyler's unblocked. Ty Tyler is the guy that Duncan's supposed to be reading. Right there. And actually, that's just a give play. That's a poor design right there to have Tyler coming off the edge, and it looked like it was just a give play. It didn't look to me like Duncan was reading anything.
3rd and 9 for the Toppers. Duncan again under pressure, the 3rd sack here in the early going for the Marshall defense. It's Tyler.
Duncan does not look comfortable in the pocket, and part of that is because Tyler, working against Howell, got his first start last week. You know, as soon as there's pressure, you can tell that Duncan is looking to run. I don't know that's going to go real well, because every time he tries to run, there's a host of white jerseys there. He's going to have to try to figure out a way to get the ball out of his hands quicker.
Something that Marshall defensive coordinator Adam Fuller said earlier this week was that he thought his team had an advantage up front against a young Western Kentucky offensive line. They are taking advantage here in this first quarter. Ornella's second punt is short. This will land in Hilltopper territory around the 40-yard line. Early going here in Bowling Green, no score, but Marshall has excellent field position. Ted Emmerich, Ross Tucker, Danny Kleppinger with you here at the Houch at Bowling Green, Kentucky. Gorgeous night, no score. Just over 5 minutes gone by. Marshall, we begin the possession at the Western Kentucky 40-yard line. It is a blackout. Somebody got the message here in Bowling Green.
She's having a good time. Good for her.
Although not everybody got the message in terms of wearing black.
No.
It's not exactly like a Penn State whiteout
No,
where everyone is wearing white.
No, and they might be red in the face if Marshall scores a touchdown here with this outstanding field position. They need to.
Isaiah Green and company went 3 and out to start. Green faking the reverse, going over the top to Tyree Brady. Touchdown, Marshall. Dropping it in the bucket for 6.
Green throws such a nice deep ball, and the backfield action fooled the Western Kentucky safeties. Look, fake the orbit motion around the edge. It's a deep post, nobody in the middle of the field. Brady runs right past him. That was terrific play design by the Marshall coaches and their offensive coordinator, Tim Cramsey.
Brady leaving 2 defenders in the dust. He has been double teamed quite a bit so far this season. That will continue, but Tyree Brady is that good for Coach Doc Holliday. He can beat double teams, and he puts Marshall on the board.
Wow. You know, a lot of times when after a turnover, you like to go deep on plays like that. This time, Marshall did it after they got great field position. We told you he's a pro prospect. He's already on the board.
We're live on Facebook as well as on Stadium. Tracy Sherrills checking in on Facebook saying, woohoo! Tyree Brady using the football and trophy emojis. That's about the reaction from the entire Marshall fan base after Brady beat Western Kentucky deep for that 40-yard touchdown.
Yeah, so far, just looking at the Facebook comments, there are a ton of Marshall fans watching all over the place. Charleston, South Carolina, Lawton, Oklahoma. I saw Lowell, Massachusetts, Arlington, Massachusetts. Very, very cool. I'm loving you guys commenting on the Facebook page so we can see where everybody's from and who you're rooting for.
Doc Holliday 1-3 against Western Kentucky. Marshall did beat the Hilltoppers last year in Huntington 30-21. They went up 30-10 before the Hilltoppers made it somewhat interesting. But Western Kentucky had Marshall's number after joining Conference USA in 2014. Marshall trying to get the rivalry going their way here in the Moonshine Throwdown. Having players like Tyree Brady, the Miami transfer, certainly helps.
And that play design helped as well. I mean, Brady's fantastic, but that was really scheme that got Brady wide open for that deep post, and a beautiful, nice touch throw by Green, the freshman, getting some confidence.
Jaquez Sloan calls for the fair catch. New rule this year in college football. Western Kentucky will have it at the 25-yard line.
They got to get something going here, Ted. I mean, those first couple drives were really ugly, and it's primarily because they're not getting any time up front. They're going to have to get the run game going because when they've dropped back to pass, it's been a disaster so far for the Hilltoppers. So somehow, some way, head coach Mike Sanford right there, who calls the plays, he's the offensive coordinator as well, they got to get this ground game going.
First down, Duncan keeps trying to hit Myquan Dean in the flat, and that's incomplete.
And those are the ones that you really need to hit. That was a run-pass option there where Duncan elected to pull the ball, and then as he ran on the edge, he then had another option. He could have run it or he could have thrown it. Dean is one of the fastest tight ends in all of FBS football, and you want to get him the ball in space there to at least pick up some yards on first down.
Dean caught 2 touchdowns last week in the win over Ball State. He goes in motion along with fellow tight end Kyle Fortenberry. 2nd and 10, the play fake for Duncan. The pump. Duncan uncorking. Pass is knocked down, and a flag is thrown. Carry-on Morrell stepping in front of Quinn Jernigan.
That time, Duncan finally had plenty of time to deliver the football, and he got through his progression there.
Pass interference, spot of the foul, says our referee.
Nice job with the pocket movement. Good finish from the left tackle, Howe. Said he could step up, and you can see there, Morrell was really all over him. That was a good call.
So Western Kentucky has a first down at their own 35. Garland LaFrance goes in motion, and 3 flags are down. This will be a false start.
What was your name?
Marcus.
This one is on Jordan Merritt at the right guard.
Those penalties really hurt because you got a young offensive line. Merritt is still only a redshirt sophomore. And you're really trying to stay on schedule in terms of down and distance. Now you're already behind the chains, and now you're going to be behind the chains even more.
Oh.
Yikes.
And Daniel Gautreau, our referee, now ready for the announcement. This is on Tyler with the left guard, redshirt sophomore from suburban Chicago.
The guards are taking turns going off sides, and now the Hilltoppers, they're going the wrong way. Did you get that reference, Ted, or are you too young?
No, I did.
How did they know which way we're going?
I got diagnosed too. 2 for 2. First and 20. Samuel motions into the backfield. Fake the handoff. Duncan toward the sideline. He has Fortenberry, who's knocked out of bounds across the 35 by Chris Jackson.
So good sign here now for the Toppers that they're able to actually have some time for Duncan to throw the football, which he really needs. You'll see pretty good protection up front. They even picked up the blitz there, man-to-man coverage on the outside. Fortenberry open. I'd like to see the big tight end put his shoulder down and not go out of bounds there. That's why you lift all those weights.
2nd and 9. Duncan keeping after faking to LaFrance, and he goes down. Ty Tyler wrapping him up. Loss of a couple.
Ty Tyler's having a day. And they know that Duncan likes to carry the ball himself, that he's a running threat. Bottom of your screen, that's who he's reading, and not a great job reading it right there by Duncan.
Duncan piled up 55 yards on the ground, mostly on scrambles last week against Ball State. 3rd and 11 now. Just a 3-man rush. Duncan taking off. He's got a blocker in front, and Duncan slides for the first down.
That's what he can do, and you just said it, Ted. That's what he did last week against Ball State. A much-needed first down for the Hilltoppers. And a nice job by LaFrance in front of him, getting a block right there. And I like Duncan knowing exactly where the first down yard line to gain was and then getting down. You don't need to take vicious shots downfield. You got what you needed.
Empty set now on first down. Duncan throws the out. Again, it's Fortenberry. And knocked across the sideline. Western Kentucky wants a flag, but it's not coming for Chase Hancock.
Tight end's been a pretty good position for the Hilltoppers. Watch left side of your screen. This is just a zone coverage. And they found something there because that's the second time that Fortenberry's up. Now, should they have called something here? Oh, I don't know. He was in the white. Marshall might have gotten away with one there from the doctor.
Take the toss to Jackson. Duncan drops it off in the flat for Lucky Jackson. And Hancock drives him out of bounds, a nominal gain. You mentioned the tight ends. Kyle Fortenberry and Myquan Dean play big roles on this team, but look in the past, look at guys who are in the NFL, Ross. Jack Doyle with the Colts,
yep.
Tyler Higbee with the Rams.
Yeah, both those guys have been starters in the NFL.
Well, now 3rd down and a much more manageable 4. They were 9 of 15 on 3rd down last week against Ball State. Duncan the straight drop, a pump, airing it out, looking for Sloan, and he overshot him. Morrell was there alongside Jaquez Sloan.
Coach Sanford told us Sloan is the fastest player on the team. I think Duncan wanted to make sure he didn't underthrow him, but that was way too far, and it was good coverage by Morrell.
So it's punt time yet again for Western Kentucky. On Facebook, the comments rolling in as Danny asked some of the greatest spoilers or upsets in sports history. Somebody mentioned Appalachian State over Michigan.
1980 U.S. hockey team. Absolutely.
There's the punt by Ranella. Nick Matthews deep to receive, and Ranella angles it out of bounds near the 12-yard line. So Marshall backed up, but with a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter. Of course, the one that I think about as a Texas guy, 2001 Big 12 championship game. Texas beats Colorado. They're going to the Rose Bowl to play Miami for the national championship, but Colorado pulls the upset and ruins the Longhorns' dreams that year. Of course, in the pros, you think of the Giants 10 years ago, spoiling the Patriots' undefeated season.
Right. That was huge.
Isaiah Green fakes it to Tyler King, throws it in the flat, and upended is Willie Johnson. Chakorian Darden, the nickelback. They call him Coco.
Middle of your screen. He's going to fight underneath the block right there. Boy, that's a poor effort right there. I mean, you need to get a better block than that if you're Xavier Gaines, especially as a tight end. But Chakorian Darden, who's from here in Kentucky, just ducked under that block and went right through the leg pads, thigh pads of the receiver. That was well done.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Green on the rollout. Marcel Williams drops it. Bobbled it in front of Darden, and it'll be 3rd and 12.
Darden's everywhere. He's in the slot again. It's an out route. He breaks on it pretty well. Ball still should have probably been caught the first time, but Darden, nice job accelerating through and a picture-perfect form tackle there. That's a ball that needs to be caught, though.
Now can Green execute here on 3rd and long? Davis, a gifted pass catcher out of the backfield, lines up on his right hip. Green has a clean pocket, looking for Davis. It's over his head. And Western Kentucky comes up with a much-needed 3 and out.
Well, you got that right, especially after they put Marshall deep in their own territory. The Hilltoppers should get excellent field position here. It's exactly what they needed, was the 3 and out after stuffing them.
We asked Doc Holliday this week, how is Green responding days after the 3 turnovers against a Power 5 opponent in NC State? Says not worried one bit coming to this game. He can make all the throws. He made that huge throw to Tyree Brady for the touchdown, but uneven otherwise in this first quarter. Lefevre sends it to Drell Green. Over his head, and it takes a Marshall roll.
Nice punt.
Inside the 35-yard line. Western Kentucky thought it would have a little better field position after that, but they will have it when we return. It is a blackout tonight here in Bowling Green, Western Kentucky. Hoping to knock off Marshall in the Conference USA opener. Thundering Herd up 7-0 in this first quarter. Ted Emmerich, Ross Tucker, Danny Kluppinger, our entire stadium crew streaming live on Facebook as well. Western Kentucky has had to punt it their first 3 possessions. They're back to work.
And I like that, you know, in the break in action, Danny asked for what band you would want to play at your opener. Getting some AC/DC in there in the Facebook comments.
Not Cage the Elephant? I thought that was your favorite band, Ross.
No, I would go with like U2 or Phil Collins, as long as he just played In the Air Tonight over and over and over again.
That will get you fired up. Myquan Dean, the tight end, we were told that Western Kentucky would use him creatively tonight. This is one way to do it, but it doesn't amount to much.
Nice job there in the open field tackle. That's not easy to do, but Chris Jackson, the best corner for Marshall, able to bring him down.
Stephanie on Facebook says Little Big Town, the band that she would want to play. 2nd and 9, Duncan scrambling and takes a shot. Jaquan Yulee, the redshirt sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia, coming up.
So they're doing a good job. Watch, they take away his first read there. The running back turns around. That was a big hit You can see Appleberry turned around like, hey, oh no, he's coming. Chase Hancock's been everywhere. Doc Holliday thinks he's the best defensive player in the conference, number 37 in white.
3rd and 8. Off the motion, Duncan on the roll, finds Fortenberry, but short of the sticks. And he is leveled near his own sideline by Brandon Drayton.
Big first quarter so far for Fortenberry. Western Kentucky's at least going to line up on the ball here on 4th down.
They need 2. Under center goes Duncan.
I think they're just trying to draw him off sides.
And Mike Sanford calls the timeout.
See, I always think it's interesting there. Are you better off calling the timeout there, or are you better off just losing the 5 yards? Would you rather have that timeout in the second half? I mean, the second quarter, I guess it depends on how the rest of the first half plays out, right?
A moment ago, Duncan taking a big hit from Hancock and Yulee. Took a lot of punishment last week, but this isn't sustainable.
Right, this is the next play. He throws it to Fortenberry. Fortenberry takes a big hit and takes out the sideline guy. Watch the sideline guy to the left right here. The guy with the sticks. Woo! Let's hope he's okay. He popped right back up. I like it. That's a tough field marker, dude. What's the correct name? I don't know the correct name.
Stick holder.
Yeah.
And we have a stoppage, and we'll have some time added to the clock. I believe they needed to reset the play clock. Michael Garcia chimes in on Facebook. We aren't going to score, meaning Western Kentucky, if our quarterback continues to get obliterated. Well, that is a concern in this first quarter. Ranella punts it. Beautiful spiraling kick. And the fair catch made near the 10 by Nick Matthews. Well, our next game on Facebook comes your way next Saturday at 7 p.m. This is only on Facebook. Stadium. Welcome to the game. We saw UAB a couple of weeks ago, Ross, when they picked up a big non-conference win over Tulane. And, of course, Tulane last night takes down Memphis. So UAB, perhaps a championship contender in Conference USA. Looking to knock off Louisiana Tech next week.
They were pretty impressive when we saw them, that's for sure.
Again, poor field position for Marshall. They start at their own 11. Green rolling, and over the head of Willie Johnson. Johnson had an opening against Decorian Darden, but Green couldn't locate it. Isaiah Green beat out the graduate transfer Alex Thompson during camp. A lot of people thought that Thompson would win this job after Chase Litton surprisingly left early for the NFL, now on the Chiefs practice squad.
Yeah, I guess it worked out for him. He's getting a paycheck from the Chiefs and Andy Reid, but did not get drafted after leaving early. Whoa!
Almost intercepted. Devin Key had a better shot at that than Tyree Brady. Again, the pass sailing on Green.
This is 2 inaccurate passes here to start this series of downs. He's got pressure on him, so he's not able to really step into it, but I think maybe he was not on the same page with his receiver Brady, because I think that was too errant of a pass. I don't think the pressure, and they might heat him up again.
3rd and 10. Green making adjustments. Green feeling heat, maneuvering out of the pocket. Green the spin move, and he goes down. Masai White tracks down Isaiah Green to bring up 4th down.
Nobody was open. I was looking downfield as Green bought time. You'll see he's able to step up in the pocket, eludes a sack there. Nobody's open downfield. He actually did the right thing there by just tucking it away. Now, Tyree Brady's getting doubled on the other side of the field, which means the receivers on the other side that Green ran to, they're man-to-man covered. Somebody has to uncover the old scramble drill. You know, come back to the ball or go deep somehow. give Green a place to throw the football.
Zone end zone, Robert Lefevre kicks it. Drell Green with a running start up the sideline and close to the 30-yard line. Best field position of the night for Western Kentucky.
Such a nice job there by Green fielding that punt on the run. It's exactly what you want to do. Get on your horse, catch it, and get over there, and another guy gets flipped over on the sideline. Let that be a lesson for everybody watching, Facebook, wherever you are. If you're ever on the sideline of a game, get back. They're moving a lot faster than you think they are, and you don't have as much time as you think you do to react. Trust me. I do a lot of sideline work.
And there are a lot more people on a college sideline than there are on an NFL sideline. Late in this first quarter, Western Kentucky starts from the 30-yard line of Marshall. Dumping it to Garland LaFrance, the true freshman from New Orleans who is electric. Artise Johnson pushes him out after a gain of 4.
He had the fastest short shuttle of anyone that did the Nike Spark testing over the last few years. That's the 5.10.5 Pro shuttle you see at the NFL Combine. He had the best in the country. That means he has insane change of direction skills.
Toss it to Jaquez Sloan. Sloan turning the corner inside the 15 and out of bounds. Inventive play there with LaFrance coming one way and Sloan going the other.
Love this play design. What are you doing if you're a linebacker there? You know, even Tyler not able to catch him because there's just too much backfield action.
Smoke screen to Sloan and Marshall reads it well. Driving him back, Donye Moody leading the way. They
were all over that one. The numbers didn't work there. He had one blocker in front of him, and there were 4 Marshall defenders.
2-yard loss for Sloan, who can blow the top off a defense with that speed. Duncan will be all alone in the shotgun here on 2nd and 12. Now Appleberry joins him. Duncan next to the boundary, and the catch is made by Jernigan with Chris Jackson draped on him.
Jackson can't have much better coverage than that. Duncan's got guts to just throw it in there. It's going to be left side of your screen. Man-to-man coverage. Duncan fires it in there, but Jackson was all over.
7-yard pickup, now 3rd and 5. Big play late in the first quarter. Duncan completes it, but driven out of bounds. Chris Jackson
I don't understand
against Quinn Jernigan. Yeah, short of the sticks.
I mean, I don't understand. 3rd and 5, you run a 2.5-yard out? I mean, maybe if he's wide open, you throw him the ball, but when Jackson's right there, watch the right side of your screen. I mean, Chris Jackson's right there. I don't know what you think's going to happen right there. You're really just praying that Jernigan can break a tackle when he's catching it so close to the boundary. They've had some real good play design on this drive, but that was not real good.
23-yard attempt for Ryan Nuss, the senior. And he puts it through the uprights. Now 3 of 6 for the season. Western Kentucky is on the board with 5 seconds to go in this first quarter. But for Doc Holliday and the Marshall defense, a stand at the end as the thundering herd is able to bow their neck.
Yeah, he'll take that, right? I mean, with the field position that Western Kentucky had there, I think he'll take that.
Of course, we're on Stadium, live on Facebook as well. Michael Garcia checks in on Facebook, talking about the Western Kentucky offense. All our offense is trick plays, jet sweeps, screens, and Duncan sacrificing his body. We'll say a lot of that worked going into the red zone. They just couldn't finish off the drive.
Right, and I think Michael, you know, with a young offensive line that really hasn't been able to get the job done so far in this game, I think your coach, Mike Sanford's trying to manufacture some offense and trying to get the ball to guys like Mike Dean as well as Jaquez Sloan in space, feeling like they've got the speed.
Tag on Facebook says it's going to take a defensive or special teams play to get the Marshall offense back in the game. All the Thundering Herd have is the 40-yard touchdown from Green to Brady. That has Marshall in front. Keon Davis on the return for the Herd. And Davis leans across the 25. 26-yard return for Keon Davis, who coming into tonight was 5th in Conference USA in all-purpose yards per game. That includes return yardage. And we have reached the end of one here in Bowling Green. Marshall up 7-3 in the conference opener. One quarter down here in Bowling Green at Houchin-Smith Stadium. Marshall up 7-3 over Western Kentucky in the Conference USA opener. Ted Emmerich, Ross Tucker, Danny Kleppinger, our entire crew. The 40-yard touchdown pass from Isaiah Green to Tyree Brady has Marshall on top. But other than that, Green hasn't done much through the air. He's 2 for 7 for 38 yards overall. He has also taken a sack.
Right, in fairness to him, that last drive there were a couple poor throws, but they've had a tough time getting open on some of these plays as well. And they really haven't tried to even run it that much at all so far. They haven't had the ball very much.
This running game has been abysmal the last 2 weeks. Trying to get something going with Tyler King, who had a 100-yard outing against Western Kentucky last year. And King is stopped near the line of scrimmage.
Remember, the entire offensive line is back for Marshall, so that should be the group that they're able to lean on. All 5 guys are returning starters. Number 61 in the middle there, Levi Brown, is the best of the bunch.
2nd and 10. Western Kentucky sends 4. Green finding a crease, angles to the outside. And he's got the first down at the 39-yard line.
Boy, he is so calm and cool. Watch, he sees the free runner coming and acts like he doesn't see him, and then, I'll tuck it away. Yeah, he didn't panic early and let the blitzer know that he was coming, which I think is a really good move there by Green. Stood there, waited till Carson Jordan got close, the defensive end, and then tucked it away and exploded for a first down.
Green with a play fake. Airing it out. And too far in front of his intended receiver, Tyree Brady. Brady once again bracketed by Western Kentucky.
That time he was very well covered. I'm actually surprised Green even threw it there on a deep post to Brady.
Well, this is what Doc Holliday was telling us earlier in the week, Ross, that when Brady commands that kind of attention, they have to have some other playmaker to step forward. Right. Somebody else will have one-on-one coverage, obviously.
Brady at the bottom now, the single receiver, bottom of your screen. But they still have safety help to that side.
Green looking that way. Brady over the shoulder. He comes down with it. Beautiful grab inside the 35. DeAndre Ferris is the one who Brady beat.
So they rolled the safety down at the last second, so it was man-to-man coverage. And what did Isaiah Green say to us this week? Man-to-man coverage, I have to throw it to him. It doesn't make sense not to.
26 yards. And now the officials will take a look at it. Bradford Smith is the replay official.
Should be a real short review. Based on what we saw, that looked like a clean catch. Ball, left foot down, possession, catch. So unless there's another angle where he's bobbling it, let's see this one. Possession, left foot down, that's a catch.
Yeah. All you need is one, as Michael Garcia says on Facebook. Props to Brady. That's a solid catch. I'd say more than solid. Rodney Parsons, routine catch for 8. Yeah, Tyree Brady makes it look easy. Just like you said, Ross, Quick look, that is a catch.
And that's a nice job by the replay officials here in Conference USA to be that quick with it. Left foot down, ball's in his hands. That's a catch. Gosh, he's got big hands. See how small the ball looked in his right hand there at the end as he put his left arm down to brace him? You know, bottom of your screen, every time he's single receiver, watch and see what Western Kentucky does with the safety to that side.
Tyler King slashing across the 30, tripped up. Could have been a much bigger gain if not for Masai White.
So here's the deal. Clayton White, as you see Masai White, Clayton White, no relation, the defensive coordinator, told us, and you'll see 25 middle of your screen. If he doesn't make this tackle, he bounces off Levi Brown. That's a good job getting off a blocker and making a tackle. He doesn't make that tackle. King goes a long way.
5-yard gain, now 2nd and 5. Here's some creativity, but Willie Johnson drops it. That ball is loose. Has Western Kentucky recovered? The Hilltoppers have it. Jeremy Darvin. Western Kentucky takes over.
Ball was like a slippery watermelon out there. Marshall had some momentum. They elected to try to go with a trick play, and you got to make sure you have ball security. This is the tail end of it. Look, he can't grab it. They can't grab it. And you see Clayton White, the D coordinator, get on the ball, get on the ball, get on the ball.
Well, Clayton White said it this week to us, Ross. This defense needs more turnovers. Just their 5th takeaway in 5 games so far this season. Comes in a big spot in their territory. Down 7-3, the Hilltoppers have it. Lucky Jackson snaking his way across the 45. Carrion Morrell makes the tackle.
So how about Lucky Jackson saying that his parents were only going to have one child, and then they had Lucky Jackson second, and they named him Lucky because he was lucky to be born. I don't think that's how he meant it or how his parents meant it, but that was hilarious.
Oh, Duncan keeping on the option, and he is drilled by Malik Gant.
Such a good player, man. Mike Sanford, the head coach, said, look at the left side of your screen. He thinks he's the best player for Marshall. All over that. All over that. Redshirt junior safety from D.C. So physical, so fun to watch. I mean, Doc Holliday coached Reggie Nelson, who's with the Raiders at Florida, and he said, I still think Gant is the most physical safety I've ever coached.
3rd and 10.
Pressure again.
Duncan has Fortenberry trying to stay in bounds. Did he make it to the sticks? He'll come up a yard short.
Wow.
Gant on the tackle.
He's in the slot, going to run an out pattern against Gant, who just made the tackle. Gant falls down. Fortenberry just couldn't stay in quite long enough. Western Kentucky keeping the offense on the field here on 4th and 1.
What do you think about this?
I like it, and I think they're going to go. Here comes Duncan with a power run would be my guess.
Empty set, lots of motion. Appleberry now with him in the backfield, loading up on the right side. Appleberry is knocked down short of the marker. Malik Gant, the safety, knifing through. Turnover on downs.
Tremendous play by Malik Gant. But if you have a 6'4", 230-pound quarterback, I think you run him. I think with all the action going right, but they could fool Marshall, and that Gant wouldn't be there on the backside. All that motion, they had tight end wing to the right side, Ted. Everything was saying quarterback run to the right. They thought they could trick him, handing it to the back, coming back to the left. But Malik Gant was not fooled. What a series for Malik Gant. That's a big reason why he was preseason All-Conference USA, and I'd be shocked if he's not postseason All-Conference USA as well.
Gant from Woodson High School in the D.C. metro area, the same high school that produced Byron Leftwich, the Marshall legend. Green a play fake, 1st and 10 from midfield. Green slings it, and it's intercepted. Tarkarian Darden, it's a pick for Coco.
This is insane. Left side of your screen, Darden's reading Green's eyes, and Green just stayed on the same crossing pattern the whole time. If you're going to keep your eyes on the crossing pattern that whole time, you got to look ahead of yourself to see what you're throwing into. He never saw Darden, and Darden makes a tremendously athletic play on the football. These strong safeties, Gant and Darden, they're dominating this game.
Darden's first interception of the season. So one play after the turnover on downs, the Hilltoppers take it right back. Duncan unloading, looking for Sloan. That's incomplete. Lucky Jackson was the intended receiver.
That was a nice throw, maybe a little underthrown. I think Jackson, if he comes back for the football more aggressively, they get pass interference here because the defender never got his head turned around. That's one, if you're Jackson, come back to the ball and try to high point it. You're going to get a pass interference penalty. That would be my coaching point if I'm over there on the Hilltopper sideline.
Duncan flings it. That's a first down. And twirled off his feet is Quinn Jernigan in Marshall territory at the 43. Kerryon Morrell makes the tackle, a gain of 12.
Jernigan's the big receiver for the Hilltoppers. Just runs a little curl route.
Late blitz, Duncan drilled as he throws it, and he finds Jackson over the middle for another first down. Pickup of 11.
That is big-time college football quarterbacking right there. You know you're going to get drilled. Watch this. Free runner, Gant, coming right at his ribs, and he still steps into it. I love that.
Duncan finding a rhythm now. Taking off, and another slide. Picks up a couple to the 30-yard line of Marshall. Jaquan Yulee was in the vicinity.
It's a good thing he slid there. He was about to get his head taken off. Watch this. Once he tucks it away, he's a runner. No more protection. Get down, because here comes Yulee.
Fake it to LaFrance. Duncan airmails it. No flag. Kyle Fortenberry on the ground. Malik Gant was in coverage.
And they'll say that this is incidental contact because their feet got tripped up. I always wondered, I feel like if I was a DB, I would take a class in incidental contact. You know?
Well, you dealt with a lot more than just incidental contact 7 years in the NFL on the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, that always, I mean, think about it. If you became an expert at tripping guys without making it obvious you're tripping a guy, you'd never get called for pass interference.
Marshall brings the blitz on 3rd and long. Duncan, end zone, tipped. Almost caught, incomplete. Morrell got a piece of it, and Jernigan almost reeled it in.
I like Duncan giving Jernigan a chance to make a play on that football. Pressure again. They're trying to heat up Duncan. He just eludes Tyler. Puts good arc on that ball. Jernigan's got the size matchup. Morrell get a hand on it. Watch this. Oh my goodness, that was close. That would have been on all the highlight shows.
4th and 8.
I think Jernigan would tell you. I think Jernigan would tell you he should have caught that.
And a timeout for Marshall before 4th and 8. The Herd up 7-3 over Western Kentucky here in the Conference USA opener. Mike Sanford and Western Kentucky on the move after the second turnover of the half by Marshall. But now 4th and 8 for the Hilltoppers, and Mike Sanford is sending out his offense. They line it at the 30-yard line of Marshall.
Kind of no man's land here, you know, for a field goal. It'd be a 48-yarder probably.
Jackson goes in motion. Duncan. That's knocked away. Incomplete. Nazeeh Johnson stepping in front of Jernigan. Mike Sanford wanted a flag, but for the second straight possession after a turnover, Marshall has come up with a turnover on downs.
That is a ridiculous play by Nazeeh Johnson. Did you see that? That wasn't interference. Watch. Now, he's got a little hand contact there, but once the ball comes, that is tremendous athleticism. Remember, Johnson had the pick six against the Hilltoppers last year.
Johnson, one of 4 former walk-ons who start on defense for Marshall. Thundering Herd will try to get something clicking offensively here late in the half. And straight ahead goes Keon Davis for about 5.
Yeah, I was talking with the director of player personnel for Marshall, Russ Kieselhorst, before the game, and they do a really good job with their walk-ons. A really good job. They even have one from my neck of the woods, Stone Scarcell from Springford High School. It's a big part of the Marshall program.
Davis trying to elude the defender near the line of scrimmage, but he goes down, loss of 1 to bring up 3rd and 5. And it's been a big part. Marshall mines the state of Florida quite well. And they also bring in a lot of guys who were overlooked. As Chase Hancock, the linebacker, will tell you, Ross, I was a 0-star recruit. He was another one of the former walk-ons for Doc Holliday.
Well, you know, with the early signing day now, they actually end up getting a lot of guys in the second signing day that think they're going to sign in December. They don't for whatever reason. They picked up the majority of their class in the traditional February signing day.
Green, off his back foot, tosses it out of bounds. Had no choice. Jawan Jones was giving chase. It's 4th down.
I don't understand this at all. Watch the right side of your screen. I don't know where he was going to go with the ball. I think maybe to Davis, who got tripped up there. I mean, there was nothing out there at all for Green. He did the right move there to throw it away.
Robert Lefevre comes on again to punt for Marshall. Terrell Green is back deep. Green dropped it, able to pounce on top of it, though, at the 25-yard line. Well, on Facebook, of course, we are live on Stadium, streaming live on Facebook as well. More comments on the way. Marshall up 7-3. Western Kentucky will have it when we return. First game of the Conference USA schedule for Marshall and Western Kentucky. Herd up 7-3, under 8 minutes to play in this second quarter, and Western Kentucky takes over at their own 25. They were able to march it deep into Marshall territory before turning it over on downs last time. Trying to set up a screen this time, and it's blown up. Brandon Drayton all over the receiver.
Well, you like the screen play call against the blitz. That's perfect. But Meredith, big 61, bottom of your screen, not able to get out there and make the play on Drayton. Nice job by Drayton. Gosh, he's almost built like Tyree Brady. I thought that was a great play by Tyree Brady. They're both wearing number 8.
Garland LaFrance was on the wrong end of that hit. Lost 4 yards. Joshua Samuel back in at running back on 2nd down. Duncan the pump, takes a big hit as he lets it go, looking for Jackson, incomplete.
They had what they wanted there, Ted. You know, you got Lucky Jackson, your best receiver, right side of the screen. Duncan looks off the safety, pumps, comes back, knows he's going to get hit. Man-to-man coverage against the safety. Jackson has to make that catch. I mean, that's exactly what you want. Your best receiver against the safety. That ball needs to be caught.
3rd and 14 now. Marshall sends 5. Duncan fires, that's caught in stride. Myquan Dean into Marshall territory at the 36.
That was an insane throw by Duncan. Right hash. Watch this. Under duress again. Could not have handed it to him better. Duncan starting to get into a groove a little bit here now.
Like Sanford says, Dean is really like a track athlete at tight end. 6'4", 240 pounds, but he can move.
Send that man down the seam.
Jackson goes in motion.
Look out.
Jackson looking downfield, the lefty tossing to Fortenberry. Flag is down. Fortenberry doubled up by Gant and Drayton.
They had pretty good coverage here. They didn't need to do this. Look around and find the ball. Gant, I think, would have been okay there. Because Gant turned around and was looking for the ball.
Oh, with the penalty yardage. Western Kentucky has it now at the Marshall 21. Duncan whips it. That's caught. Jernigan. First and goal for the Hilltoppers at the 7.
Best drive for Western Kentucky by far here. Duncan's getting into a rhythm. Sanford is really mixing and matching his play calling well. But you got to finish in the end zone now.
That was a 14-yard hookup. The 43-yard pass to Dean earlier on the drive, the longest pass of Duncan's brief career.
And you got to think Duncan's legs are going to be a factor again at some point down here in the red zone, Ted.
First and goal. Appleberry, the running back. Dean comes in motion. Hand it to him. And Dean muscles across the 5, down to the 3. Tackled by Chase Hancock. How about using your tight end on basically a jet sweep?
And that was a very iffy exchange right there, as you see on the replay. Right back on the football for the Tops.
Hand it to Gino Appleberry, the fire hydrant of a running back at 5'9", 210 pounds. Not much there. Third and goal.
Between Appleberry at running back and Doc Holliday coaching, all I want to say is, I'll be your Huckleberry. I mean, we got an Appleberry and we got Doc Holliday.
Yeah, you knew that was
if
coming
his last
at some
name
point.
was Huckleberry, I'd say that every play, no matter what
Okay.
happened. Big play here.
Third and goal. Ja'Cour Pearson comes in motion. Fake it to him. Duncan bangs his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Western Kentucky.
I think he might be a little shaken up there. He took a shot. Good fake there. Nice block in front by Fortenberry and Malik Gant. Oh my gosh. Touchdown. Sanford's fired up, and he should be.
Duncan got lit up by Gant. And yet still, he crosses the goal line. And the Hilltoppers are in front for the first time tonight. It's the first rushing touchdown of Stephen Duncan's short career. It is blossoming right in front of us. Western Kentucky up 10-7. Big Red is fired up. Western Kentucky on top for the first time tonight. 10-7 over Marshall in the Conference USA opener. Ted Emmerich, Ross Tucker, Danny Kleppinger, our entire crew. Stephen Duncan on the phone after taking that big shot from Malik Gant at the goal line, but Duncan was able to power his way through on third and goal for the score.
He was slow to get up there. It looks like he's okay now. Like that patch in the upper right, 100th year of Western Kentucky football. Malik Gant, number 29 for Marshall, their safety, he's a bad man. I mean, he's 230 pounds. And Malik Gant just rocked his world. Watch this. Watch 29 like a heat-seeking missile.
Wow, that forearm.
And that's a touchdown, and Duncan not getting up right away. It looks like he's holding on to his right shoulder there. That's something to keep an eye on for the rest of this half and the rest of this game.
Kit Roberts on Facebook says Duncan's on the phone asking what his name is right now.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope. Let's hope that Duncan's okay. Here comes Marcel Williams on the return for Marshall, slithering ahead across the 45-yard line. Here late in the half, Marshall has good field position. The Thundering Herd have the 40-yard touchdown to Brady, but not much else offensively, but Williams trying to give him some juice.
Sometimes when the guy muffs a kick or doesn't get a great handle, it's almost like it throws off the timing and the lanes, staying in your lanes as a guy on the kickoff team. You kind of get excited to go get the football, and then you're not where you should be.
That was a 22-yard return by Williams, and now a flag is down.
Too many guys.
Yep. Williams was late coming off the field. So how do you reinvigorate this Marshall offense? They've got a lot of playmakers, but not much has happened outside of the toss to Brady.
Yeah, and maybe that's what you need to do again. Bottom of your screen, keep an eye on the safety to that side. See here they're playing off coverage now. Maybe you just throw the ball out to Brady right away. They're going to run it here, and they got something.
Davis with a hole, and Davis drives ahead to the Western Kentucky 45.
So here's the beauty of that, right? If they're going to keep the safety back on that side, that means they don't have an extra defender in the run game. Clayton White, the D coordinator for Western Kentucky, said not only does Tyree Brady dictate coverage, he dictates run fits.
Davis puts the shoulders down for a yard to the 44.
So there are really 8 gaps, right? The A, B, C, and D gap to each side. A gap either side of the center, B gap between the guard and tackles, C gap between the tackles and tight ends, D gap outside. If you have 8 defenders, the extra safety, you got them all covered. If both safeties are deep, you're short a gap.
3rd and 1, Davis hit at the line, and he is surrounded. He lost a yard.
And that time they did have the extra defender, the extra safety up there in the box, and he was unaccounted for, and he made the play, and it was Eli Brown. Watch 32, he knifes in there. Now, Sid, there's no way that Eli Brown's not supposed to be blocked there. There's no way. That's a mental error from an experienced offensive line, I should say, that shouldn't make that mistake. There should never be a situation there where the play side linebacker is completely unblocked.
Brown, the transfer from Kentucky. He's from right here in Bowling Green. Lefevre has been busy in this first half for Marshall. High kick for Drell Green. It's over his head, takes a bounce forward, and killed at the 16.
He's lucky that ball didn't bounce back and hit him again.
That was a funny carom. So Western Kentucky, they have forced a couple of turnovers by Marshall. They were able to capitalize on the last drive. Stephen Duncan engineering great series. And there are a lot of Marshall fans right now that are pretty upset on Facebook.
Yeah, Michael Craigett wanted a fake punt, and Chloe Lucas said all we heard all preseason was how good the line was going to be. Are you kidding me? Chloe, I'm with you. That was not real good, and it was not only no push up front, but it was a mental mistake.
For what it's worth, Marshall was picked to finish 2nd in the East Division before the year started, 2nd to FAU. Western Kentucky, with all their youth, was picked to finish 5th. Here's Joshua Samuel rumbling ahead across the 20. Marshall fans joining us via Instagram. Ashley, wake up, Marshall. Maybe the dog can help.
Is every Western Kentucky fan here at the game? They got to represent on Instagram and Facebook. Come on, Tops. Come on, Hilltopper fans.
It really is all Marshall and social media tonight.
I mean, it makes sense that there'd be more Marshall fans since it's here in Bowling Green.
Right. Beautiful pass, almost intercepted by Morrell. Lucky Jackson, the intended target.
You say beautiful pass, I say awful decision. I mean, Morrell was just sitting there. That was double coverage. I'm not sure what Duncan was looking for. I guess the good news is it appears his throwing shoulder's fine because it was a nice ball, but not where he wanted to go with it. Or at least not where he should have gone. How awesome are their helmets, by the way? I'm loving the Hilltopper uniforms. That looks sweet.
Mike Sanford told us he helped design them. The all-black look with the shiny helmet. 3rd and 4. Duncan stepping up, wants Jernigan. That's batted down. Carry on Morrell again with the defensive play.
Morrell and Jackson, the corners, have really done a nice job. Right side of your screen. He's looking for the big body Jernigan again. Jernigan doesn't often get a lot of separation. He really boxes out. He wants a flag there. If anything, though, it would have been holding earlier in the play. He might have gotten grabbed earlier in the play, but not at the catch point there. At the catch point, it was just a nice play by Morrell. They are letting them play for the most part.
Ranella boots it. Marcel Williams underneath it, able to cradle it at the 44-yard line. Eric Miller, a Marshall fan on Facebook, chiming in. He's taking a measured approach. He says, I swear, Doc Holliday, if you lose this game, I'm taking my tickets back to the ticket office. I don't care if I lose money. You and the new OC, Tim Cramsey, can submit your resignation on Monday. Pathetic. Measured, reasoned approach, right?
That reminds me of Sports Talk Radio there.
Marshall with 18 returning starters coming in. And as we said, picked to finish 2nd in the East, challenge for the Conference USA title.
They did think
it has been rough sledding
right,
tonight.
But they did think, you know, back after last season that they'd have Chase Litton back too, if we're being honest.
Brady finds an open Tyree Brady using the stiff arm. Brady the yards after the catch inside the Western Kentucky 40-yard line.
I would wear that guy out if I were Marshall. If it's off coverage, throw something underneath like this. If it's press man, there's no safety over the top, throw it to him deep. He's the best player on the field. Use him.
18-yard hookup. Green looking for Obi Obialo. Drops it in over his shoulder. Gorgeous throw. The catch is made behind Devin Key. And Marshall has it just outside the 10-yard line.
I don't know how these guys do this. Over the shoulder, fading away, right foot down, and has the ball. Watch. Right foot gets in. They're going to take another look at it, but I think he had possession of the ball, and then right foot. Ball, right foot, then left foot was out. You only need one in college football. That's going to be a good catch.
Obialo has really come on for Marshall, going back to late last season when Brady missed a couple of games due to an injury he suffered in this matchup. Obialo had a couple of touchdowns against Eastern Kentucky in week 2. Physical target at 6'3", 213 pounds, a junior from Coppell, Texas, in the DFW metro area.
What do you know about the DFW metro area? Anything?
A little bit. Grew up there, live there now. Actually saw Obialo in high school. He went to Oklahoma State, walked on with the Cowboys, but then transferred to Marshall where he could find some playing time, and he's a part of this receiver group.
They need to get a touchdown here. Let's take one more look at it. When does he get possession? Right there. Has it, right foot down. That's easy. Easy peasy again on the replay, and a nice job by the Conference USA officials. Let's keep it moving. I like that.
Tracy Sherrills on Facebook. Great name, great receiver. Go Herd. Obi Obialo with the catch for 27 yards. And Marshall now, with 1:22 to go in the half, has it at the 11.
Can you imagine if his last name was One Kenobi?
I'm sure he's never heard that in his life. Tyler King trying to bend it to the outside. Flag is thrown. And King is down at the 8, tackled by Terrell Green. Masai White motioning as if this will be against Marshall. And Masai White was correct.
They got Keon Davis, the other running back, for the hold. Left side of your screen, you'll see, yeah, you can't just hug him like that. Keon Davis goes up and just hugs Holt.
Yeah, not allowed.
If that was allowed, I'd still be in the NFL. You're allowed to just hug guys like that. That's a good job by the officials seeing that. Hands inside.
Green taking off, and he takes a stick. Masai White delivering the blow. Gain of 2.
That was a design quarterback run. Masai White's having a day. I mean, he is really playing well so far. Tremendous athlete at the linebacker position. I mentioned he started off the year with a bang against Wisconsin. 11 tackles and a sack against the Badgers up there in Madison. He's kind of the new breed of linebacker. 6 foot 225, can really run.
His teammate Ben Holt and fellow linebacker said in the offseason, Masai White runs like a horse. Speed to burn at that linebacker spot. Has 3 tackles and a sack tonight in this first half. By the way, on Facebook, we do have a Hilltopper fan checking in. Ashley Harden says, hey, the announcers are asking, where are all the Topper fans? Me, here's one. Still haven't missed a game since I was in college. Go Tops, from Jessup, Maryland.
I like that, from Jessup, Maryland. Haven't missed a game since she was in college. I love that.
2nd and 18, final minute of this first half. Green looking, end zone, incomplete. Wide of its target. He wanted Obialo.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that timeout by Doc Holliday. You know, you didn't need to use that then on the sack by Masai White, because now here, you know, if you're throwing incompletion here again, you really just gave Western Kentucky time to make a play potentially at the end of the half. Bottom of your screen, Tyree Brady. Right now it's man-to-man if they throw a corner route.
And a timeout for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, maybe they didn't like that. Maybe they saw what I saw.
It's a lot to ask of any corner to take on Brady one-on-one, especially in this situation. Oh, we have more college football next Saturday at 5 Eastern. FAU and Old Dominion. Of course, the Monarchs pulled the upset of the young season against Virginia Tech last week. FAU and ODU. You can catch the game on Stadium, the only 24/7 network available on both television and digital services without a cable subscription. Stadium, welcome to the game. How about ODU last week? They lost to East Carolina today, but what a victory against Virginia Tech last week.
Unbelievable. Huge for Conference USA, huge for that program. Now they will be able to get Brady safety help over the top. See, now they got a bracket. He's got to go somewhere else.
Green flushed out. Green buying time. Still looking for Brady, over his head. Incomplete.
Just threw it away.
4th down with 41 seconds remaining, and Marshall will send on Justin Rowasser.
So look, he's bracketed there. He's just pointing up. Just throw it up, give me a chance. And you know what? Maybe Green should have. With a talent like that, maybe you should just throw the ball up, let him have a chance.
There are worse jump ball options than Tyree Brady.
It doesn't seem very likely that it's going to get intercepted. Let's put it that way.
35-yard attempt for Justin Rowasser. And he splits the uprights. We are tied at 10 here late in the first half. Rowasser tying his season long with a 35-yarder. So Marshall comes away with points with 36 seconds left. Now, if you're Tyree Brady, Ross, how do you stay calm? It's something we talked with Doc Holliday and Tim Cranzy, the offensive coordinator, about this week, that Brady being double-teamed so often, it can be difficult when you're a playmaker and you can know that you can help your team in a variety of ways, and you're just you disappear because of what the defense is doing to you.
Yeah, it's not easy, that's for sure. You know, sometimes they're trying to move him around a little bit. Coach Cramsey, the offensive coordinator, said you're trying to play Where's Waldo a little bit. Put him in the slot, motion him. But as Doc Holliday say, when he's doubled, we got to go somewhere else. We have enough playmakers. There's Tim Cramsey. He's from my neck of the woods, from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania. Not too far. He went to Allentown Central Catholic. They had some epic battles with Berwick when they were two of the top teams in the state.
Wes Sloan, lethal speed on the return for Western Kentucky. Flag is down. He's tripped up at the 17.
And that flag down probably means Mike Sanford may just take a knee here because they're going to be seriously backed up.
You mentioned Cramsey taking over this offensive coordinator spot for Marshall after Bill Legg resigned. Here's the call.
First down, Western Kentucky.
Take a look at number 40 right there, Henderson. He tried to get his head in front, but trying's not good enough. And really in those situations, they're going to err on the side of calling it. If they ever see a guy on the kickoff team fall forward, there's usually a reason why he fell forward, right? Because he got pushed in the back.
Mike Sanford does elect to take the knee. Stephen Duncan drops down. Western Kentucky giving Marshall a game here in the Conference USA opener here in Bowling Green, part of the blackout here at Houchin-Smith Stadium. High expectations coming into the year for Doc Holliday's team. An uneven start. We are tied at 10 at the half.
Early in the game, it looked like it was going to be all Marshall.
Down to Danny Kleppinger.
Coach, your defense in some unfavorable situations right there and able to put a stop to them. What can you say about your defense in this first half?
Defense is playing lights out. They got to sustain that for 2 more quarters. And the second half is going to be about who wants it more. I mean, we're in a championship-type game against one of the elite in our conference. You know, we got to go out and play better football offensively and capitalize on the situations to score.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be a grind. I want to talk about that last offensive drive for you. Some good play calling there down the stretch. The one right before that where you scored that touchdown. Duncan seemed to get in a little bit of a rhythm. What did you like about that drive?
That drive, I just felt like we sustained in our momentum. I thought we played with better tempo. I thought Duncan started to kind of settle down a little bit, and that's been big for us. You know, he was a little early on, just didn't play his best ball, but I think he's starting to settle in, and you're starting to see that competitor.
Coach, good luck in a second.
Thank you.
Mike Sanford said that his team was going to throw everything they had into this conference opener before a bye next week. They have done that. Tyree Brady on the scoreboard for Marshall. All locked up at 10 at the half.
Welcome back to Houchin-Smith Stadium. The game here is tied at 10. I'm here with Western Kentucky Athletic Director Todd Stewart, and I appreciate you joining me. What a game here tonight. What an atmosphere. You and I were just talking about those uniforms, this blackout situation. Just quickly before we jump into more things, what do you think of those uniforms out there?
I think they're sharp. They're definitely the favorite of our players. They love the all black with the chrome helmets.
Absolutely. Okay, I want to talk about the dominance that Western Kentucky has had. 24 conference championships for you guys. The next closest team in Conference USA has 12. What has made you guys so dominant?
Well, I'll tell you, all the credit to our players and our coaches. You know, we were the last one in Conference USA when you had all the conference realignment, and we kind of took the slogan upon ourselves. You only have one chance to make a first impression. So we knew we had to get off to a good start. And, you know, here we are 4 years later, and we've really been great every year. And with 24 championships, that's twice as many as every other school. The next closest school has 12. And what we're really proud of is that 7 different sport programs have done that. So that across-the-board success is pretty unique.
Very, very impressive. And I want to talk a little bit about the guy that's in charge of it all here in Sanford. What'd you see in him? Why did you want to bring him into this program?
Well, I thought he was an outstanding offensive football coach. He had also been here before, so he knew our landscape. He knew the community. I thought he'd be a really good fit and wanted somebody that would come in and could recruit. You know, I felt like our recruiting had slacked off a couple years right before he got here, and needed somebody to bring in a good young nucleus of players, you know, with an offensive mind, and I think that's what he's doing.
So talk to me about this all-century team. We're going to talk about it a little bit later in our broadcast, but 100 years of football here, and then 100 years of men's basketball and baseball as well. But let's talk about that all-century team. Why did you guys want to vote for one?
Well, you know, it's really neat because it's unique that the 100th year is for men's basketball and football this year. And, you know, when you talk about 100 years, I mean, that's a real who's who, but it's been a very good blend of former players, you know, from decades ago and more recent. You know, we have 9 people in the NFL right now, and so it was actually hard to choose that team, but that's a good problem to have.
I know you and I were just talking off camera about some of those NFL guys. I had a chance to work with Tyler Higbee. What has those NFL guys kind of brought to this program as far as some national exposure?
It's been incredible. I think respect. You know, they've just brought a lot of respect to our program nationwide, caused people to pay attention to us that may not otherwise have done so. You know, 10 years ago, we played in a one-sided stadium in the Gateway Conference, and we were a 1AA program. And those guys that are in the NFL now have played such a huge role in the growth of our program. It ultimately led to 3 straight bowl wins, 2 straight conference championships, and a top 25 team. And so those that have been able to continue their career in the National Football League, I am really thrilled for them.
Have you gone to watch Taywan Taylor down the road with the Titans? I'm going to go watch him tomorrow.
Absolutely. Actually, we went to training camp and visited with him, and you know, we keep in touch with him and follow him and every one of those guys.
Thank you so much. Best of luck in this second half. Hopefully they can pull it out for you.
Thank you. That would be good.
Thanks, guys. Stay right here. We got more football coming your way.
The flat path is easy, but for the inspired, there is a spirit that kindles a desire to climb higher, to soar, to roar, to reach new heights. The wish to be a part of something more, to do more and to be more. Hilltoppers know that life at the top is worth the climb. Climb with us at Western Kentucky University.
We're at the break here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Western Kentucky and Marshall locked up at 10 here at the half. Conference USA opener. Mixture of conference games and a few teams out of conference as we check the scores. Ted Emmerich, Ross Tucker with you. So Old Dominion coming off the huge upset over Virginia Tech last week. Go to Greenville, North Carolina. They couldn't knock off East Carolina, 37-35 the final there. Game that dealt with a big weather delay. Auburn up big over Southern Miss, 21-6. That's now in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, only a 2-score game there, though, and that's tough for Old Dominion to come back from that Virginia Tech win. The emotions of that had to be difficult.
How about here, big game that circled in the first full week, basically, of conference play. Louisiana Tech going on the road to Denton to play North Texas, which has gotten a lot of national pub. A big victory over Arkansas on the road a couple of weeks ago. Louisiana Tech up 26-21 late in the first half.
Already a lot of scoring in that game. North Texas had a heck of a year, as you said so far, Ted. You know a little something about them.
I do, just a little bit. Mean Green looking for a win in their conference opener. Marshall and Western Kentucky both looking to go 1-0. Good first half here at Houchin-Smith Stadium in Bowling Green. Western Kentucky and Marshall are tied at 10. Ted Emmerich, Ross Tucker with you up here in the booth. I tell you what, I think in addition to the game, I've been looking forward to this more than anything. When you play in the league for 7 years as an offensive lineman, Ross, you have some stories to tell. And so why don't we fire this up? It's story time with Ross Tucker. Look at that face. Look at that face.
That
oh,
is
it's
awesome.
beautiful.
My mom's going to be so proud. You got to send this to me if she's not watching on Facebook right now. Look, there's a bunch of stories I could tell. I mean, we were talking a couple weeks ago when we were in UAB for that game about gifts that you got, you know, Emmitt Smith or whoever. And earlier in the game, we were talking about concussions. I mentioned a Drew Bledsoe interception. So I'll go the other way. I'll give Drew Bledsoe some kudos. You know, every year at the end of the season, around the holidays, your quarterback or running back will give the starting offensive lineman a gift. So in 2004, he gave us Motorola flip phones. Now, in 2004, you guys are going to laugh at me, but 2004, that was like awesome. I mean, those were like $500. We were excited to get it, and it was unlimited minutes, supposedly for a year, right? So
wow.
I'll never forget, first call I make is to my mom, and my mom answers the phone like, hello? I'm like, hey, Mom, it's me. She's like, oh. I said, what do you mean, oh? Well, the caller ID said D. Bledsoe. Like, what do you think, Mom? Drew Bledsoe's just calling my mom out of the thin air? What's really funny about it, though, is he forgot to take his, he wasn't able to take his credit card off the bill. So, like, 4 years later, I get a call from Drew Bledsoe's mom. A lot of moms involved in these stories. I don't know.
Bledsoe's mom, not Bledsoe himself?
Barbara, lovely lady.
Barbara.
And she called and said, hi, Ross, this is Drew's mom, Barbara. I just wanted to let you know that the gift is over now. We're not able to actually pay you anymore for this. It was like 4 or 5 years, man. I thought it was one of my buddies.
Oh, my gosh.
So he didn't know my social security number, so he couldn't get his credit card off my account. So I said, no problem, Mrs. Bledsoe. I will take it off. You'll be all set. So thank you, Drew. Not for the interception that got me concussed, but for the Motorola flip phone and a good story out of it.
Thanks for the flip phone, Drew Bledsoe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was story time with Ross Tucker. Just like in Wayne's World.
That is awesome.
10-10, Marshall and Western Kentucky kicking off Conference USA play. Second half on the way. Defensive struggle through one half here in Bowling Green. Marshall and Western Kentucky are tied at 10, and Marshall to receive to start this third quarter. Ted Emmerich, Ross Tucker, Danny Clevenger, our entire crew. Here comes Keon Davis out of the end zone. Reversing direction to the perimeter. Davis so dangerous in the return game, able to make it to the 26-yard line. Now we take a look, Ross, at some of the first half stats. Neither team has done much on the ground, moving it through the air, though.
No, and the difference in the game, really, I mean, it's 10-10, so there is no difference. But the stat that jumps out to you is the 2 turnovers there for Marshall. Not only that, they were 0 for 6 on third down. So on some level, it's almost surprising that Marshall's tied in this game with 2 turnovers and not converting a single third down so far in the game.
Isaiah Green has 3 big completions to Tyree Brady, including a touchdown, but 5 of 15 overall. Davis stumbling as he took the handoff and able to build some momentum across the 30-yard line.
Let's see if they lean on this offensive line a little bit more. Now, this is a veteran-laden group. We've said it a couple times. They're all returning starters. Should be able to put this game on their back a little bit more. There's Dowry, the left guard. His brother played at at Penn State. Watched him a lot. An older brother named Derek.
Who's now on the staff at Marshall. Assistant strength coach. Green the play fake. Throwing up the sideline for Obiala, who reaches back to pluck it away from DeAndre Ferris. We send it down to Danny Clevenger.
Yeah, I talked to Doc Holliday on the way out of the locker room, a really frustrated guy, and I understand it because he's been in the red zone a couple times and not being able to come down with the touchdowns really frustrating him. He said, I'm so sick of kicking field goals, and I totally understand that as well. But he was pretty proud of his defense and the way that they got after Western Kentucky's quarterback. So pretty proud there from the defensive standpoint, but offensively, he's just sick of getting towards that red zone and not capitalizing on a touchdown, guys.
Denny had to like that 21-yard completion to Obialo, and now Tyree Brady has his 4th catch of the night. This one goes for about 9 yards.
Back-to-back completions for Isaiah Green. He was only 5 of 15, 33% in the first half. So nice start here for him to the second half to get into a rhythm.
2nd and 1 now. Play caller's dream. Let the Tim Cramsey dial up. Fake the run, throw it short. Marcel Williams driven back. But he will have enough for the first down. Drell Green made the hit.
Been impressed by the tackling of the Western Kentucky secondary. Darden's made some plays. That time it was Drell Green, who also is the punt returner, had a nice return in the first half.
Marshall on the move to start this second half. At the Western Kentucky 32 with a first down. Davis angling inside the 25.
You know, in high school, Ted, we ran the wing T offense, and so much of that is misdirection. Watch the backfield action. Pretend you're a linebacker right here. You see the receiver going one way, then the guard pulls around. I mean, that's hard. That's hard to find the football and really know who has it. The Rams do a lot of stuff like that in the backfield, that misdirection.
Davis, a little hesitation move in the hole, and he dives ahead, close to the first down. He's got it. Jones and Devin Key make the stop.
Man, when you go in at halftime as a team, you talk about, hey, all right, let's get off to a good start in the second half. Let's get a nice long drive, scoring drive, and that's exactly what Marshall's in the middle of right here. This is a nice start to the second half, but they got to finish like Doc Holliday told Danny.
Fake to give to Davis. Throw the crossing route to Brady. It's off his hands, incomplete. Tyree Brady would like a mulligan.
Should have been a touchdown. That's a run pass option. They run a slant behind it. Just a little bit past his outstretched hand. Although I think Tyree Brady would probably tell you he should have caught that. Green's accuracy's been up and down, but I think Brady needs to lay out for that football somehow, some way, try to haul that in and help his quarterback out. Although with his size, you'd think Isaiah Green would have been able to put that ball on his body somewhere.
Williams goes in motion, more misdirection. Davis trying to cut it back. He's inside the 20. Gain of about 2 before Ben Holt meets him. 3rd and 8.
Ben Holt's a great story. Walk on to captain. I love that. Both these teams have a bunch of walk-ons that have ended up earning scholarships. It's a great lesson out there for the high school kids watching.
Holt, the first player in Western Kentucky's 10 years as an FBS school to go from walk-on to team captain. 3rd and long. Green scrambling. And he's tackled short of the marker.
Guess what time it is? Field goal time. Doc Holliday's not going to be pleased.
Again, they can't finish a drive, so Rohrwasser comes on.
He didn't see anything there. Finally tucks it away and just gets a little bit more of a makeable field goal attempt here.
33-yard attempt. Rohrwasser converted from 35 in the first half.
We got a piece of it.
Blocked. Western Kentucky comes up with the stop. Marshall comes up empty.
It looked like it was in the middle, which usually means the ball was kicked too low.
Rohrwasser from 33. Who got a hand on it? Western Kentucky did, and they take over. Nothing Justin Rohrwasser could do about this. Julian Lewis getting a paw up for Western Kentucky and blocking the field goal attempt. So Western Kentucky has it at their own 20-yard line in a 10-10 game Conference USA opener here in Bowling Green.
Man, it's a huge play. Marshall goes right down the field. Looks like they might even get in for a touchdown. They stall out and not get any points out of that impressive first drive to start the second half. It's big.
Duncan to the air. Able to connect with his target, Quinn Jernigan, in front of Chris Jackson. Now, this was a team that Western Kentucky, they opened their home schedule 3 weeks ago with a loss to Maine from the FCS. Much better effort so far tonight. Inspired play, especially for a team that outside of that game has played 3 true road games in the first 4 weeks. Like Sanford told us this week, this is a banged up, tired football team. Duncan, pressure from the backside, able to hit Fortenberry. And Fortenberry takes a shot from Amari Cobb.
You know, I miss football, but I see enough hits like that tonight that I'm glad I'm not out there. Watch this hit right here. Fortenberry. You know, it looked to me like his shoulder was real close to the head or neck area. At that point, the decision is whether or not Fortenberry was still defenseless or whether or not, you know, he was a runner and he had tucked the football away before Omari Cobb lowered the boom.
Fortenberry was stopped about a half-yard short of the first down. Western Kentucky elects to punt.
Better hurry up.
Just get off the snap. And Ranella kicks it away. And Matthews signals for the fair catch inside the 30. We'll take a timeout here in Bowling Green, tied at 10 in the third quarter. History.
Well, yeah, so in case you were curious, only
Back in Bowling Green, midway through the third quarter, Western Kentucky and Marshall locked up at 10. Western Kentucky having a punt to open this second half with their first possession. Marshall will have it back. Both defenses rising up thus far, especially Mike Sanford's unit, which has had to deal with a couple of Power 5 opponents in non-conference play, and Wisconsin and Louisville, forcing a couple of turnovers by Doc Holliday's team, but Marshall has put plenty of pressure on Stephen Duncan all night long. Now Holliday's quarterback, Isaiah Green, is back to work.
Well, we were talking during the break with Danny on Facebook just about the disparity in offensive line experience, but I don't know that that's shown up in this game as much as it probably should.
Tyler King trying to jet to the outside. He is tripped up by Eli Brown. King, originally a Western Kentucky commit 3 years ago, coming out of high school before signing with Marshall.
Watch him bounce outside. Eli Brown knows exactly where King's going to go. And it's been a really impressive game so far for the outside linebackers for Western Kentucky, whether it's Brown or Masai White.
2nd and 9. Brady. Pitch and catch from Green to his favorite receiver. A first down for Marshall, gain of 14.
Right side of your screen, they run a stun up front. Green just throws it out there, and really, I feel like anytime they play off coverage, that's just there. Watch the top of your screen now. If they're playing off coverage, they're worried about Brady's deep speed. Just throw it to him.
Play fake for Green. Looking to the intermediate route, trying to find Artie Henry. That's incomplete to Corian Darden, providing the coverage.
And he might have had Brady deep here.
Seemed like that's where Green was looking initially.
Yeah, the other Green, Darrell Green, was getting back into there, so there wasn't really a throw there.
Isaiah Green says that he has encountered adversity his whole life off the field. 2nd and 10. Green going deep for Henry or King, and it's past both of them, incomplete.
Well, that's not right. There should never be two guys running next to each other like that, stride for stride. You're trying to space out the defenders that one guy can't cover both. Both Marshall receivers were running next to each other. Somebody ran the wrong route.
Marshall 0 for 6 on 3rd down tonight. Green changing the play. Just a 3-man rush. Green the toss, looking for Davis. He's out of bounds. Incomplete. Eli Brown was following Davis up the field.
Terrific job by Eli Brown to run stride for stride with Davis and kind of widen him, force him out of bounds there. And I'm starting to get the sense in this game, Ted, that a big mistake is going to be the difference in the game. You know, some type of turnover, punt return for a touchdown, block punt, something like that. These teams are having a lot of trouble sustaining scoring drives.
Doc Holliday told us this week, Marshall's coach, there was a lot of parity in Conference USA. He said he wanted his team to be prepared to play 8 championship games. Nice roll for Lefevre as Darrell Green sidesteps it And Western Kentucky will have to start this drive at its own 6-yard line. Tied at 10 here in Kentucky. Doc Holliday hoping his Marshall defense can rise up yet again. Poor field position for Western Kentucky here in a 10-10 game in the third quarter. Ted Emmerich, Ross Tucker, Danny Kleppinger. For Western Kentucky, they're starting at their own 6. Both tight ends motion toward the line, Fortenberry and Dean. Give it to Joshua Samuel, off tackle. Samuel up to the 10. You know, Ross, for Western Kentucky, it has to be considered progress that for the first time in 3 weeks, they have a quarterback who is out there for the first half, and the same one is out there for the second half. They have had to play a combination of Shanley and Stephen Duncan the last 2 weeks against Louisville and Ball State, but Duncan has been the guy, and he's shown a lot of toughness tonight.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, isn't it? He has made some big-time throws, and you're right, he's taken some significant hits as well.
On 2nd and 5, Duncan keeps. Duncan has space. And sliding close to the 25-yard line. Smart decision yet again with Brandon Drayton bearing down.
Let's see if this Western Kentucky offensive line can start to take over the game. They did in the second half against Ball State last week. And you'll see it's a good read there by Duncan. He sees Tyler turn his shoulders. He's able to pull it, get just enough for the first down, and get down. 2 runs to get out of their, backed up position like that. It's a really good sign for Western Kentucky.
That was the longest run of the game for the Hilltoppers, 12 yards for their quarterback. Now Samuel charging ahead to the 30 for a gain of 7. Brandon Drayton makes the tackle.
3 straight runs there for Western Kentucky, and they're already at the 30-yard line. So this is when coordinators usually they'll mix it up and they'll throw. For me, I just keep running until they stop it now. Just run the ball again. Make Marshall prove they can stop it. The hand signal out to the wide receiver usually means they're throwing it. Or they're fooling me.
Duncan on the keep. And Hancock wraps him up, but Duncan has enough for the first down. 4 straight runs. This one goes for 4 yards. Western Kentucky had a total of 9 yards rushing in the first half.
Well, I think we have a new strategy from Coach Sanford there. I like that, by the way, the hand signal to the wide receiver to try to throw the defense and the announcer off the scent.
Now Duncan to the air. He hits his man for another first down. That's Lucky Jackson. Gain of 11.
And now Western Kentucky and their young quarterback, Stephen Duncan, are getting into a little bit of a rhythm.
Just like that, from the 6-yard line to close to midfield. Duncan has the call from the sideline. Calls the audible. Here's Samuel to the outside. And Samuel is crunched at the 50. But a pickup of 4. Brandon Drayton was in there again.
Samuel finishes his runs. Watch this. They say he practices like this. He's really been, he has been a good leader for them in the running back room because he finishes his runs like that. He had a career high 91 yards last week in his first touchdown.
Mike Sanford told us that Samuel reminds him a lot of Stanford's all-time leading rusher, Stephon Taylor, who Sanford coached when he was on Jim Harbaugh's staff a few years back. Pearson on the jet sweep. Turning the corner, and he's close to the first down in Marshall territory. Carry-on Morrell ushers him across.
Nice blocks there on the edge. Good mixing and matching here by Mike Sanford of the play calling. Running back to the right. Jet sweep to Pearson to the left, throwing the ball a little bit. Brings up another 3rd and short, but you got to think this is probably, based on what Sanford did in the first half, 4-down territory here. Personally, I love running the quarterback in short yardage situations because then you're able to get an extra blocker in the formation.
3rd and 2. Got to hurry with the play clock down to 1. Timeout called.
Timeout, Western Kentucky. It is their first. It will be 30 seconds.
On Facebook, Ashley Harden checks in. WKU Hilltoppers starting to figure things out. I believe, all caps, go Tops with like 7 S's, all in capital letters. She is fired up. So it will be 3rd and 2 coming up for Western Kentucky.
They really haven't, in these short yardage situations, you have a quarterback that's 6'4", 230.
Coming up next Saturday at 1 Eastern, Fordham hosts Georgetown, and you can catch that game right here on Stadium, the only 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Stadium, welcome to the game.
I'll be there. I know a lot of Patriot League football. Georgetown, Fordham, in the Bronx. I'll be there.
3rd and 2 for Western Kentucky. Late 3rd quarter tie game in the league opener here in Bowling Green. Duncan keeping again. Duncan wrestled down a yard short of the marker by Frankie Hernandez.
Well, they ran the quarterback, which is what I was asking for, but they went with the read play rather than any type of power play. He pulls it, but they're ready for him. Nice job by Hernandez reading his keys. And Sanford's going to punt it away.
What do you think about that in this position?
Yeah, that surprises me a little bit. I thought he'd go. They were running the ball so well on that drive. The offensive line was doing a nice job.
Well, they are 0 for 2 on 4th down tonight. Got stopped by Marshall a couple of times in the first half. Ornella punts it away. Can they kill it? Shy of the end zone, they do at the 1. Outstanding coverage.
And that's why you punt it there, Ted.
You would never second guess.
Hey, look, I mean, it's a result-oriented business, and that is beautiful.
Picture perfect for the Hilltoppers. Marshall is backed up deep. Well, now Marshall will have to rely on its ground game just for a little bit of cushion, some breathing room here, starting at the 1-yard line. Isaiah Green, inefficient, to say the least, but the big play capability is obviously there. Davis plodding ahead. A pickup of 2 to the 3-yard line. Ben Holt takes him down. Now, a few people on Facebook are getting a little anxious about Isaiah Green and this offense. Nick Cochran says the herd needs to get thunderstruck. A few people are even calling for Alex Thompson, the graduate transfer from Wagner, but that's not the decision here. Green is their guy. From his own end zone, Green dumps it to Keon Davis. And Davis slides ahead to the 9-yard line. So effective out of the backfield as a pass catcher.
That's one of the things they really like about Green is even in the end zone there, you know, when some guys might get a little bit anxious, he's just so relaxed. His facial expression never changes.
He says that he's encountered adversity his whole life. His mom, Tracy, died when he was 7. His dad was never in the picture. Says on the field he can't get rattled as a result. Big moment here in the second half for Green, the redshirt freshman. Handoff to Davis, first down, plus a spin move.
Wow.
And Davis powers ahead to the 21. 11 yards on the carry.
Great cutback there behind the right tackle, and then a nice spin move to make one guy miss. And I love the way he finishes runs. That's the way you're supposed to do it. 6'1", 215, the 5th year redshirt senior, making the most of his last season with the Thundering Herd.
Final 30 seconds of this 3rd quarter. Davis up the gut for a couple. You know, Doc Holliday told us about Keon Davis. He doesn't really look fast, but then all of a sudden, you notice he's hard to catch. Could be the final play of the third quarter. Davis has given Marshall some breathing room. They'll look to attack in the fourth quarter. We were tied at 10 at the half. We are tied at 10 going to the final period here in Bowling Green.
Nice play by D'Angelo Malone right there. First time we've called his name.
Fourth quarter on the way from the Hill. Conference USA opener between one of the most veteran teams in the league in Marshall and one of the youngest teams in the league in Western Kentucky. And yet we are even at 10 as we begin the fourth quarter from Bowling Green. Ted Emmerich, Ross Tucker, Danny Kleppinger, our entire stadium crew also streaming live on Facebook tonight. Isaiah Green and Marshall have it after starting at their own 1 yard line, now 2nd and 8 from the 23. And Green finds Tyree Brady, who has the lone touchdown of the night for the Herd. It'll be 3rd and short coming up.
I know I said it before, Ted. I'm going to say it again. You know, first Conference USA game, redshirt freshman quarterback. I'd be throwing the ball to that guy a lot. If I'm going down at least trying to get the ball in the hands of my best player.
Brady has his second 100-yard game of the season. 6 catches for 112 yards and the touchdown. 3rd and 4. Green looking that way. Green scrambling. Green is twisted down. He lost a yard. D'Angelo Malone collapsing down on him with Ben Holt.
Second time this season, this series, we've called D'Angelo Malone. He dropped and was able to get in there along with Holt, as well as Evan Sainer. Good effort and hustle there by the WKU defense.
Another punt for Lefevre.
And that's 1-2, Ted, there, if you wonder if Green couldn't have just stepped up in the pocket and delivered the football to somebody.
And Green calls for the fair catch. It's growing pains, right? That's the phrase that Doc Holliday used earlier this week after a couple of interceptions and a fumble against NC State a week ago. Early fourth quarter here at Houchin-Smith Stadium in Bowling Green, Conference USA opener. Can either offense not just gain traction, but finish a drive? Western Kentucky had something going on their last possession before punting it away. They start this one from their own 30. Stephen Duncan. Airing it out. Jacquez Sloan. Incomplete, but a flag. Chris Jackson defending for Marshall. Sloan's speed, a factor.
Chris Jackson's a pretty impressive corner, though. This is man-to-man coverage. Right there, the right hand, right
Pass
before
interference.
them.
Defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
You know, he just panicked, Ted. He had good coverage. He panicked and just needed to wait till the ball got there. That was outstanding coverage by Chris Jackson, stride for stride. He didn't need to do that. He didn't need to interfere. The flip side of that, obviously it being college, it's only a 15-yard penalty. In the NFL, the tops would have the ball at the 15-yard line right now.
So 1st and 10 at the 45. Samuel, decisive cut to the outside. And Samuel coughs it up. Marshall has recovered. Donye Moody. Frankie Hernandez comes up with the recovery.
Well blocked up front. He bounced it outside. Ball should be in his left hand there when you're running that direction. Let's see if that's what ended up costing him. And a nice job there by Moody coming in with the right hand. Watch the right hand right here. Boom. Knocks it out. Coach might be telling him that right there. Hey, either two hands on the ball or have it in your outside hand. When you have it on the inside hand like that, and that guy comes in from the side, they're going to be able to knock it out of there.
First turnover of the night. Marshall forcing it in a critical spot here early in the fourth quarter. Green, the play fake. The slant to Obialo. And he pulls it in, a first down to the Western Kentucky 41. A gain of 14.
They're going to try to quick snap this. Did he catch it for sure? Ooh, I don't know about that.
That looks questionable.
Marshall was not able to get the snap off.
The ruling on the field is a catch and a first down. The previous play is under review.
So once again, Bradford Smith, the replay official. We'll take a look at this.
Hands are underneath. Right there, though. Did he really have possession of it? Looked to me like he almost trapped the ball with his belly in the ground. It's like it slid underneath his elbows.
This is the third time a play has been reviewed in this game.
Yeah, they're going to overturn that one. That I think should be overturned. That's a no catch.
It looks like there's enough evidence to do that. Well, Danny threw out the question on Facebook during a timeout. Who are your best brother combos in football? Best brother story. Someone brings up the Seahawks duo of Shaquille and Shaquem Griffin, of course, formerly of UCF.
Yes.
How can you not think of the Mannings, right? Super Bowl champions, Peyton and Eli. A lot to choose from.
Schwartz's, Mitchell Schwartz.
After review,
Schwartz.
Yeah.
the ruling of a catch has been overturned. The ball will be brought back to the 45-yard line. Second down and 10. Please reset the game clock to 13 minutes, 19 seconds. Thank you.
On Facebook, Bill Atkins says that's a catch. One more look. I find it hard to believe.
No, I mean,
there's a lot of daylight there.
And the other angle was the better one.
Right.
That's definitely the right call there. They've been 3 for 3 with their replay reviews. Take a look at this one. Watch the ball here, right there.
Yeah.
His trap almost rolls up into his belly. Nice job by the officiating crew and the replay officials.
Play action on 2nd and 10 to the corner, and Tyree Brady who pulls it in. That is a catch to the 37, good for 16 yards.
He's ridiculous. He's running a crossing pattern here, okay? And he gets more depth as he sees that Green overthrew him. You know, he started to gain more ground to be able to catch that pass because Green was going to overthrow him. That was ridiculous by Tyree Brady.
You think second-day draft pick.
That's what they're saying.
Davis for 2 yards on first down.
Just to do a better job of describing what he did, he was running along a certain yard line, right? He was running on like the 40-yard line. But he saw that Green threw the ball too high, and he started to give ground, gain ground, whatever you want to say, so that he could actually make a better catch there. That was really, really impressive.
Brady could be Marshall's first NFL draft pick since 2015. 2nd and 8. Pocket breaking down. Green tripped up. And diving ahead back near the line of scrimmage. No gain. It'll be 3rd and 8. Devon Quincy got a piece of Green.
You know, the one thing I'd like to see from Green is being a little bit more decisive when he does go to run. Now, if you're going to run, go. He had room to run there. There was only one guy out there. If he pulls that away and is decisive, I think he would have been able to watch this. When he comes, you see 24. Davis is the guy that was banged up, tackling Masai White. He's lucky he didn't get a holding penalty there. But if he goes right there, I mean, that's a D lineman. Be more decisive and you should be able to run for the first down.
3rd and 8. And the handoff to Tyler King, finding the edge, and he's tripped up a yard short of the marker. Masai White clipping him.
Well, they're going to go here because they had the last field goal attempt blocked. This has been their best run play. Look at Masai White's speed. Sideline to sideline athlete. That's why so many of the guys that play linebacker now are like high school safeties. You really got to be able to run.
Especially in the wide open college game. As the pro game's becoming more and more wide open. Marshall is 3 of 4 on 4th down tonight. This is 4th and 2. Full house backfield. And a timeout.
Timeout. Marshall. It is their first.
Marshall brought on the goal line back, Anthony Anderson, the 240-pound fifth-year senior from Eden Prairie, Minnesota, to go along with
30-second timeout.
I really
Davis
don't.
and King.
Yeah, I really don't like calling timeouts there. I mean, you made the decision to go for it, then call the play and go for it. That might be a timeout that you need later on in the game.
We'll step aside. Doc Holliday's team going for it on 4th and 2 when we come back. Drama building here on the hill in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Marshall and Western Kentucky are tied at 10. The Thundering Herd have it 4th and 2 at the Hilltopper 29, and the Herd is ready to go for it.
And they come right back in that inverted wishbone look. Same formation they had before they called timeout.
Here's Anthony Anderson, the bruiser. He's got the first down. The 240-pound junior college transfer moves the chains.
Nice job up front. Man-on-a-man blocking. Masai White got in there, but Anderson able to pound through for the first down for the Thundering Herd.
Doc Holliday told us this week this is the toughest road trip of the year for his team. It's a 4.5-hour bus ride from Huntington. They don't fly in here. They're hoping to open conference play with a victory. It has been tough sledding. King with an opening. Wow. King inside the 10. 1st and goal for Marshall.
They need to give him the ball more. He looks like he shot out of a cannon. This is the play they've had so much success with. They keep being able to seal the outside to the left. If the defensive end doesn't have contained, the linebacker needs to scrape over the top. I was talking earlier about those gaps. That's the C gap. Somebody's responsible for it. And King knows where to go.
King was off to a slow start, but he has found some creases here tonight. 20-yard pickup, now 1st and goal at the 7. King the cutback, and he's down to the 5. Corian Darden and Masai White collaborate to make the stop.
Anytime you get down near the red zone, I'm thinking 2 things here. Number 1, I'm thinking Tyree Brady. And number 2, I'm thinking Isaiah Green's legs becoming a factor if he can be a little bit more decisive. Now they moved Brady to the bottom of your screen. He was the single receiver side. Now he's to the wide field, so they're pushing everybody out there, but they still have man-to-man coverage down there if they want it.
2nd and goal, Green rolls that way, throws it back. Keon Davis makes a man miss. He's pushed out of bounds at the 3 by Devin Key. It'll be 3rd and goal now for Marshall.
They moved Brady to the right side of the formation, trying to fool Western Kentucky and get all of their focus to that side, all of their coverage to that side, and think they could sneak a screen in back behind them.
Once again, 3 running backs join Green in the backfield. 3rd and goal.
Bottom of your screen. If you want them, Tyree Brady's there for you.
Fake it to Anderson. Back of the end zone. It's over Brady's head. Incomplete. DeAndre Ferris had the coverage.
Well, that's just a really, really poorly thrown ball. There's no other way around it. I mean, didn't even give him a chance. It's over his other shoulder, and it's out of bounds. Tough to score touchdowns that way when you throw the ball out of bounds. That's one where you got to give number 8 a chance to go up and get it.
21-yard try. Rohrwasser had one blocked early in the third quarter. This one is through. Marshall takes the lead here in the fourth quarter. Isaiah Green navigating that drive for the Thundering Herd. They couldn't cash in with the touchdown, but they do come up with the advantage. Now 13-10, an 11-play, 52-yard drive. Well, Stadium has a new fall lineup. We start the day at 10 a.m. Eastern with a new morning show called The Territory, where we take you through the biggest stories in sports across the country. Sauce and Schramm moves up 3 hours and will air at noon, followed by a new high school show, Emerge, at 2 o'clock. Campus Insiders moves back a half hour to 2:30, and we wrap up the day by setting you up for the night in sports with The Rally. Game time in America at 6. Stadium, a new way to watch sports. Welcome to the game. Seems like everyone on Facebook is on the edge of their seats wherever, however they might be watching, whether it be on Stadium or streaming live on Facebook. Ashley Harden, big WKU fan, says, I am screaming at my computer screen. She says, still screaming.
Kit Roberts just threw a soccer ball across my room. Then Ross says, well, that's a poorly thrown ball. I think
you didn't know that Ross had a camera in your living room.
I think Kit threw the soccer ball across the room because he was frustrated by that Isaiah Green pass. That was not real good.
Now what can Stephen Duncan do? Starting from the 25. Duncan under pressure, shaking off Ty Tyler and completing one to Jacquez Sloan. Sloan tackled from behind at the 40, a gain of 15. Jawan Young made the stop.
That's what Duncan brings to this offense. You'll see he's able to elude Tyler right there, who's had a heck of a game, and get the ball in the hands of their speedster. And if there's not great effort right there by Marshall, he might go a long way.
Duncan led a fourth quarter comeback last week on the road against Ball State. Can he do it here at home in the conference opener? Samuel plunging ahead for 5.
Samuel's trying to make up for that fumble right now. He runs hard. I like the way that young man hits it up in there.
Late blitz from Malik Gant. Duncan is drilled, and the pass is intercepted. Nazeeh Johnson had a pick 6 in this game a year ago. He's tackled by Lucky Jackson at the 44. Back-breaking play here in the fourth.
Western Kentucky had the edge in turnovers in the first half. Second half, it's been Marshall. They come with a late safety blitz. Gant is in there, and high and late over the middle is no way to throw a football. Duncan was under duress, but you can't be high and you can't be late, especially in the middle of the field. That's one he wishes he could have back.
Second turnover in this second half for Western Kentucky. Now Nazeeh Johnson, 24 yards on the return for that interception. He's called Malik Gant's twin in that safety spot, moves just like him. Both have been impact players tonight. Green taking a shot on play action. Tyree Brady brings it in. A flag is down.
I think this is going to be Brady pushing off, though. He gets up a little gimpy, too.
And that's the indication, Ross. Looks like it's going against Brady and
Pass
Marshall.
interference. Offense, number 8. The penalty will be 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Let's take a look at it. It's man-to-man coverage against Cray. Yeah, you can't extend the arms like that. When they see you extend your elbow and your arm like that, they're going to call that every time. And the thing is, he's so good and so big, he doesn't really need to do that. You know, That was a well-thrown ball by Green over his outside shoulder. Brady would have caught that anyway.
Brady does have a season-high 130 yards and a touchdown on 7 catches. 1st and 25 now. Green rolling out. And intercepted! Deflected and taken away by DeAndre Ferris. Ferris with a convoy. Ferris inside the 20-yard line. Western Kentucky responds.
Well, stop me if you've heard this before, but late and high over the middle is never a good idea. Too much traffic there. Great ball skills by Ferris. And watch number 3, Tyler King, come out of nowhere to make that tackle. If Tyler King doesn't hustle his butt off, Ferris scores the go-ahead touchdown.
DeAndre Ferris's first interception of the season, the 5th-year senior from Shelbyville, Kentucky. Clayton White, the defensive coordinator, told us this week Ferris wants interceptions, but White told him, don't gamble. I promise you, the pick is coming. It could not have come at a better time for the Hilltoppers. 1st and 10, the shuttle pass to Dean, inside the 5, touchdown! The Toppers are on top!
We've been telling you about Mike Dean all night. Right side of your screen, shovel pass. He bobbles the shovel pass, but has the speed to get in and can't rip it out of there. Really nice play design there by Toppers head coach Mike Sanford.
Now adds the extra point. And it's a 17-13 lead for Western Kentucky with 6:50 remaining. Mike Dean, his 3rd touchdown in the last 2 games. Western Kentucky immediately capitalizes on the interception and the return by Ferris. Mike Dean is the only senior who sees significant time on offense for Western Kentucky. And with the 11-yard shovel pass, Dean has given Western Kentucky the lead with under 7 minutes to play.
He is an athlete, man. He is really impressive. At 6'4", 240, they give him the ball on jet sweeps. 6'4", 240 tight end, getting the ball on jet sweeps like that. Then you see the shovel pass here, he bobbles it, able to go in for the touchdown. When you have a weapon like that, the tight end position, you need to use them. He also had that big play down the seam where they throw, where Duncan had his best pass of the night. Fortenberry saying, give this guy some love. He deserves it.
Coming out of the end zone. For Marshall, it's Willie Johnson, has a lot of speed, tripped up at the 30-yard line. So 6:44 remaining. And Isaiah Green has to respond here for Marshall as we take another look at this return.
Couple yards deep, brings it out. Nice little seam there. He hits it pretty well. He was close.
Coming off that interception that DeAndre Ferris returned all the way to the Marshall 11, setting up the Dean touchdown. Isaiah Green, can he come through late for the Herd? Green has all kinds of time. Trying to find Williams. It's off his hands, incomplete.
Well, you've heard of coverage sacks. That was a coverage incompletion there because the Thundering Herd offensive line did the job there. Green just couldn't find anybody. Nobody was open. Nice job on the back end by the Tops.
Isaiah Green turned 20 years old earlier this month. redshirt freshman from Fairburn, Georgia. And he's taken his licks these last 2 weeks against NC State, now Western Kentucky. Fires it to Obialo. Gain of 8. It'll be 3rd and 2 as Roger Cray made the tackle.
Roger Cray was holding on for dear life.
Marshall is just 2 of 13 on 3rd downs tonight. Davis with a hole, a first down, 7 yards in all to the 45.
Again, a good job there by the Marshall offensive line. You know, 4th quarter, 5 minutes left, conference game, time to take over, blowing the Hilltopper D lineman off the ball there. Huge hole for Davis.
For us on Facebook, Christopher Means really liked your comment, a coverage incompletion, then used the laughing emoji.
Oh, wow.
Green has time to do his homework, and he tosses it over Brady's head.
Western Kentucky needs to roll in the new D-line in there, and they are. Their D-line was absolutely gassed. I mean,
all 4 of them.
So, and that's the second time there where Green had as much time as he could have ever wanted, and they still didn't get a completion out of it. That's really bad. I mean, if the quarterback is not under duress at all and just throws the ball away at the end of the play almost because he's bored, that is bad. Somebody needs to uncover. Those should be big games.
2nd and 10. Tyler King is the running back. Green to the sideline. Oh, Brady's hands, and it's intercepted. Down the sideline, Masai White. And tackled inside the 30. Another game-changing play made by the Hilltopper defense.
And that one you can't put on Isaiah Green. That one's on Tyree Brady. It's a nice job there with the hit, but you got to bring that in. Or at a minimum.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, intercepting team number 26. The penalty will be 15 yards from the end of the run. That is number 26's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty as it counts towards disqualification.
That's on Deontay Ruffin. 4th turnover for Marshall. And the 3rd interception by Isaiah Green.
And they even came with a 5th rusher there, and he still had plenty of time. He put it on Tyree Brady. It's a bad penalty, by the way, at the end of the play. I mean, Ruffin's the one that made the hit on Brady, but you can't lose 15 yards like that. I mean, they were inside the 30. Now they're back outside of the 40. That's a bad penalty. I didn't see what he did, but it's not good.
Western Kentucky had forced a total of 3 turnovers through the first 4 games. They have 4 takeaways tonight. Can Western Kentucky milk this clock up 17-13? They start the drive with an incompletion. Duncan skipping it in to Lucky Jackson.
Duncan pulled the string on that one a little bit.
And he knows it.
And they think Marshall's probably expecting run there, so he pulls the ball, tries to get out in the perimeter. Like Sanford, that's the type of thing that, as a coach, you get gray hair. He's young. He's only 36. Great guy. Bright future for him in this program. Got to complete those throws.
Marshall loading up the box. Joshua Samuel makes it back to the line of scrimmage. Malik Thompson was in there for Marshall.
And here's the thing, too, Ted. They were already in field goal position. You know, they didn't have the penalty by Ruffin, the unsportsmanlike conduct. They were already in position for a long field goal. Changes things dramatically here.
Now it's 3rd and 11. Samuel lost a yard on that last carry. Gino Appleberry in at running back. Duncan throws it short. Knocked away from Lucky Jackson. Incomplete. Nazeeh Johnson had the assignment.
Really nice job by Nazeeh Johnson. Never easy to cover a receiver like Lucky Jackson. Nazeeh Johnson had the interception earlier this half. It's the second big play he's made. The arm closest to the ball, left hand, gets it out there. He's got those long arms. Well done. Now let's see if the Hilltoppers can pin Marshall deep again.
Can Alex Ranella work his magic along with the coverage team? They pinned Marshall at the 1 earlier this half. Ranella attacking the corner. Inside the 10. Could they do this again? Inside the 5. And down at the 2. Simply excellent. Marshall will have to go the length of the field when we return. Mike Wandine has, for the moment, the go-ahead and perhaps game-winning touchdown for Western Kentucky. But 4 minutes, 23 seconds left. Marshall has to go the length of the field, starting at their own 2-yard line after Alex Ranella and company pinned Marshall inside the 5 yet again.
And they've had a couple interceptions here in the second half. Personally, I still think in the last couple drives that they've been throwing the ball too much. I don't know why they didn't go back to the ground game that looked like it was starting to have some success for them.
Marshall has 2 timeouts with which to work. Tyree Brady has exploded for Marshall tonight with 130 yards and a touchdown. You know, Isaiah Green will have to look his way on this drive, but they start on the ground, and Tyler King pushes across the 5 to the 7. Give him 5 yards as Carson Jordan made the tackle.
It'd be a heavy dose of Tyler King if I'm Tim Cramsey, the offensive coordinator for Marshall. It'd be King and it'd be Brady. Number 3 and number 8 have been the best players for the Thundering Herd, the best weapons at least on offense.
Green, incomplete. Intended for Armani Levias, the tight end. Eli Brown was on him. 3rd and 5.
First time Levias has even been targeted. And so you get a nice gain, 5 yards running on first down. They might have, he hooked his right wrist there. That should have been pass interference. Western Kentucky got away with one there. Eli Brown, that should have been pass interference on Eli Brown, grabbing the right wrist of Levias.
Green finds Obialo in stride. Across the 25, a first down for the Herd. Drell Green trips him up. A 20-yard pickup.
Nice route run by Obialo. Crossing pattern there. Green able to find him. A lot of separation there for Obialo.
Green going deep over the middle. He's got Levias, the tight end in Western Kentucky territory, inside the 40. Green and Key bring him down, and Levias remains on the turf.
He tapped his head right away. He's the left side of your screen going up the seam, and he just shook Key, the safety, out of his undergarment. It's a really nice run by Levias, and he was hurt right away. They ran a stunt up front. That's when the defensive lineman twist. And once again, he had all kinds of time, did Isaiah Green.
35-yard pass to Armani Levias, who's from the Bay Area, Pittsburgh, California. Another look. Check out how his knee bends.
Knee.
Yeah.
Yikes. That doesn't look good.
Zach May says on Facebook, there you go, Herd. There are a lot of Thundering Herd fans on Facebook. as we're streaming live on Facebook.
They sure are.
And on Stadium.
I've been impressed.
They are anxious. Can Green deliver here in the final 3 minutes? King across the 35. Ben Holt, Masai White make the tackle.
Backup tight end there. Xavier Gaines, number 11, has to get a block. I mean, get a block on somebody. King might even go on for more. No rush here for Marshall. Doc Holliday's playing this exactly right. You got plenty of time. You want to get a go-ahead touchdown here and not leave Western Kentucky with a lot of time of their own.
2nd and 7. Here's Tyree Brady. Avoids one Hilltopper, and he's got the first down. D'Angelo Malone comes back from the defensive end spot to make the tackle.
What a great game. Hasn't been a lot of points, but it's been back and forth, highly entertaining here in the second half with the turnovers.
Down to 2 minutes remaining here in Bowling Green. Timeout.
The ruling on the field is a completed pass. The previous play is under review.
Oh, they're marking Brady. It looks like a yard short of the first down after the initial signal was move the chains.
It looked like he had a first down to me.
Absolutely. Isaiah Green with 3 interceptions tonight, bouncing back on this particular drive that started at his own 2.
Take another look at it. Line of games to 28. He's not down there. Gets up. He's down right there.
It's well past the mark. I'm not sure what they're looking at.
One more time here. He is down right. Now he's down. That's a first down.
Yeah.
That's 27.5-yard line. That's a first down.
This should be a quick review if that is indeed.
Let's hope.
Bradford Smith is looking at it. Does his knee go down?
Left knee.
Here, check that left knee.
Ooh,
is that down there?
Hard to tell. Do you see any of those black rubber pellets? Ooh, there might have been some movement of the black rubber pellets there. Watch the left knee.
That's around the 32. That's
that would
4 yards short.
Yeah, that would be a big difference.
Oh, man. But is it enough to overturn the call on the field?
I think they're going to. I'm looking down on the field, and the guy with the sticks is at the 32-yard line. So we might have our answer before we get the answer.
After review, the receiver's knee was down at the 32-yard line. Therefore, it'll be 3rd down and 4 at the 32. There will be no clock reset because the runner did not make the line to gain, and the clock would have continued to run. The clock will start on my signal.
Eagle Eye officiating crew, including the replay official Bradford Smith. So it's 3rd and 4 now for Marshall. Down 17-13 with under 2 minutes to play here in the Conference USA opener. Green over the middle. There's Brady inside the 10. Touchdown, Thundering Herd. Isaiah Green is down, but he just delivered the biggest throw of his young career.
Did he ever? Tyree Brady on the slant. Watch Green here. Right side of your screen will come Brady. He throws that. Darden just not able to get a piece of it, and Key overruns it. He's the right side. Nice route. Darden goes for the ball rather than the man. Doesn't get it because of a pinpoint throw by Green.
Isaiah Green taking some punishment after the throw.
Late afterwards.
Evan Sainer, the defensive tackle. Hitting Green low.
That was unintentional, but still should have been flagged.
You know, this isn't helping Green up the field during a drive, but how can you not think of Byron Leftwich when you see a quarterback with his arms draped around two Marshall staffers? Isaiah Green, despite 3 interceptions, just led Marshall on a 98-yard touchdown drive to take the lead.
Wow. What a job by that young man. And you see Alex Thompson warming up in case he has to go out there. This was, you know, a second after he throws it. What happened was Levi Brown threw down Rayner. Levi Brown threw down Evan Sainer, I should say. He almost threw him into the legs. Watch 61. You can't see it there. Here, Tyree Brady. But that is a poor angle by the safety, and that's also the best player on the field making a huge play when his team needed him to.
The guy you're going to be watching on Sundays, Tyree Brady. Now 8 catches for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns, capping a 98-yard drive for Doc Holliday's team. Despite all of the adversity tonight, Marshall able to retake the lead, but there's still 1:44 to go. Western Kentucky has 2 timeouts.
Let's see if Duncan can have his moment now. Let's see if the young quarterback for the Hilltoppers can have his long drive.
On Facebook, Chuck Hicks says, scored too soon. Hang on, Herd. James Carver says, I think they need to select a new play of the game. We might need to say that again. Who knows what Stephen Duncan is capable of in this situation. One more look at Brady against Takorian Darden.
Well, that's what happens when you have a wide receiver who's an absolute stud against a safety.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
The redshirt junior from Nashville playing in a platoon with true freshman Mason Brooks tonight. An auspicious start for this drive.
Coach Sanford was really high on Mason Brooks, the true freshman from Cedar Park High School in Texas. Said he could be a program-changing recruit, but he's not out there now. 1st and 15. Duncan, pocket crumbling, and Duncan is tripped up. They've got time here. They need a field goal.
Right back to the line. Duncan dropped the football. But Duncan is able to get back on top of it at the 20.
He had room to run, too. He had room there. That is a missed opportunity.
Western Kentucky. It is their second. It will be 30 seconds.
He would have been able to pick up a good chunk of yardage there, Ted.
Now, we've seen Duncan scramble so effectively tonight. Now Mike Sanford's offense will face 3rd and 15 with 1:14 to go. They have 1 timeout remaining.
So you don't need to look at this like you need to get all 15 yards here.
Yeah, in this situation, definitely 2 plays.
And time is a factor, but time is not the focus or the concern right now. The focus and the concern is just whatever it takes to get the first down.
Mike Sanford has one of the youngest teams in America. They have been game tonight against a conference favorite in Marshall. 3rd and 15. Just a 4-man rush. Duncan flings it. Sloan is open. He's got it! Down at the 20. Sloan blows the top off the Marshall defense. 60 yards.
I wasn't expecting that. Duncan has a hose for an arm, and Sloan was wide open.
Under a minute. This one isn't over yet. Duncan to Myquan Dean for 10 more yards to the 10. It'll be 1st and goal.
Plenty of time here. Still have one timeout. Clock stops in college football with the 1st down until they set the ball.
Under 45 seconds. Duncan gives it to the true freshman Gino Appleberry. Maybe a yard.
Timeout.
And now a timeout.
Western Kentucky. It is their 3rd. It will be 30 seconds.
Western Kentucky's final timeout. But how did Stephen Duncan get them this far?
Pretty good protection. He steps up in the pocket, looks downfield, and then just uncorks it. Takes another hit. Look at this throw. Sloan had to slow up for it a little bit, which enabled Gant to get there in time to tackle him. You know, a lot of times as a corner, you're so concerned about the 1st down line to gain on 3rd and 15, and you think that that's what he's going to do. He's going to run some type of pattern to get the 1st down that you're not thinking he's going to try to beat you over the top.
Isaiah Green, Marshall's young quarterback, delivered for the Thundering Herd. Stephen Duncan, Western Kentucky's young quarterback, the redshirt sophomore from Charleston, South Carolina, looking to come up big in this moment as well. 38 seconds left. 2nd and goal from the 10. Duncan throws it away. 32 seconds. Mike Sanford told us this week he wakes up at 4:30 in the morning to draw up that play call sheet. What will be the choice on 3rd and goal?
He said it's really the only time he can ever get any work done. 4:30 to 6:30 a.m. when he's not being harassed. Keep your eye on our guy Myquan Dean in the slot to the left.
5 receivers at Duncan's disposal. Duncan stepping up. Hit! Ball is loose!
Big call here.
Marshall thinks they have it. And the Herd do! Jawan Young in a game filled with turnovers. Jawan Young has recovered it with 24 seconds remaining.
Is a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st down, Marshall.
Well, this is a turnover, so they'll take a look at this one. Was his arm going forward? Big decision and call here. Tough to tell from that angle. It was.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. The previous play is under review.
And we have had many reviews tonight.
It was big number 91, Ryan B., who knocked the
After
ball
review,
out.
the ruling on the field of a fumble is confirmed. 1st down, Marshall.
And that's the ball game. Wow.
Timeout, Marshall. It is their 2nd. It will be 30 seconds.
Jawan Young, transfer from Miami. Played 2 years there. In fact, he started at linebacker late in the 2015 season when Al Golden was fired. Transferred to Marshall, started a few games at middle linebacker, and was moved to defensive end in the offseason. And he recovers the fumble for the biggest takeaway tonight.
Well, Western Kentucky was in chip shot field goal range right there. So even if Duncan just throws the ball away, they're going to get a field goal attempt to tie the game and send it to overtime. You'll see, we said Myquan Dean, they were all over him. I said to watch Myquan Dean in the slot. Marshall was watching him. Wow. What a turn of events this game has been.
Isaiah Green, after being taken to the injury tent, back out there to take the knee to close this one out. A gritty victory in the Conference USA opener for Doc Holliday and his team. Marshall victorious, 20-17 here in Bowling Green.
Man, that was an entertaining game. Think of all the turnovers we had just in the second half. That was absolutely crazy. And Tyree Brady makes the big play when they needed him to.
A combined 7 turnovers. Doc Holliday's team had the biggest one in the final minutes. Down to Danny with Doc Holliday.
Coach, unbelievable way to end that game. What can you say just about your defense coming up with that fumble to seal it?
Well, number one, we shouldn't have got the ball thrown over our head, but the way they rallied there, but they played hard the whole game, and probably the way our kids played, way too many mistakes. We got to get a lot better as an offense and keep playing defense to get where we want to go.
I know you said at halftime you were sick of those field goals. Well, they scored a touchdown for you, a 98-yard drive. Talk to me about that last drive.
It was a great deal, but great throw and catch. Tyree Brady's a tremendous player, and the young freshman stepped in there and made the throw. And the great thing is, anytime you can get a win on the road against a good football team, you got to be happy. And
what can you say about that quarterback of yours? He threw 3 turnovers in this game, but he bounced back, toughness at the end to be able to make that throw.
He did. That's what good players do. So he'll learn a lot from this game and grow up a lot from this game. And like I say, we got a lot of work to do, but I'm proud of this football team.
Well, congratulations, Coach. I'm going to go talk to the guy that scored that touchdown over here. Tyree Brady, I got him somewhere. Where is he for me?
Ryan B.
Oh, we got Ryan B. Yeah, he forced the fumble. We're going to switch it up on you here. You forced that fumble there to seal the deal for your team. Talk to me about that play.
Oh, it's the end of the game. Somebody had to step up and make a play. I was really hoping for this win. So, I felt like as a senior I needed to do that, and I did.
And it's a big-time game, too. I know you guys got some built-up frustration with the fact that a long time ago Western Kentucky kind of ruined Marshall's perfect season, 13-1. What is it about this team in particular that you wanted to get a win over?
Oh, ever since I've been here, 5 years now, we've been going back and forth every year. Like you said, as a red shirt, they ruined our undefeated season. So, it's kind of always been a thing you keep in the back of your mind, and it feels good to get this win.
You're huffing and puffing like it was a tough game or a close game or something. How much fun was it out here under the lights?
It was tons of fun. Anytime you can battle like that, especially being a rivalry game, it's huge, and it just makes it that much sweeter to get the win.
Everybody gonna tackle you in that locker room when you get in there. Congratulations. What's that coach just handed to you?
It's a dog collar. It's this top dog on the defensive line.
The top dog on the defensive line. Let's show him that. Show that off to the camera. You got your top dog here. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
And they'll walk the dog back to Huntington, a 4.5-hour bus ride. Western Kentucky heartbroken tonight. Marshall relieved and elated at the end. Ryan B., Jawan Young, the takeaway to seal it after Tyree Brady erupted. Marshall wins it 20-17. For Ross and Danny and our entire crew, I'm Ted Emmerich saying so long from Bowling Green.